What's up, mother bitches? Welcome to the Juice is Loose, number 207. The good and bad of online gaming is our main topic, and we'll get to that in due time. First, I just got to say, Robert is working, pushing carts at Sam's Club.
Why you gotta do the man like that?
Why you do that shit? He always
That's a
looks
perfect
to
job
expose mototherfuckers out here. Why you do
Man,
this?
nothing to be ashamed of.
If I miss
He's
a week
working. That's all that matters.
talking that shit, I'm gonna come out here and whip your ass.
Ooh, get this man.
So in retro, he's still not coming on anytime soon, apparently. So this is for the next 3 weeks. I think this is gonna be the group, the five of us. And Shadow Fox, he's kind of officially a member of the Juices Loose podcast. So there you go, man. Congratulations.
Thank you for this lovely promotion.
You're still not getting paid, but it's all
you're
right.
due up to you can be a host, but there's a 2-hour time limit. So
then I can't be a host.
At least he was on Twitch.
And maybe, one of these days we can get on Generic Tuber 78. I think that'd be a cool guest to bring on one of these days.
Oh, God.
So anyway, let's start with, let's see if anybody's been playing any games since the last, 2 weeks since the last time we did that. So, Terrell, you play anything other than Xenoblade Chronicles X?
Actually, what?
All right, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, sorry.
Jesus Christ. I wonder what you've been playing.
One of the better games. So.
Oh, okay. That is debatable, sir, and you're wrong, is what I'm going to say. Anyways, it's been more Octopath. I finished all the chapter 2s with everybody. Actually, today, I literally like an hour ago, I just finished doing Oberix chapter 2. But now, I'm going through, and I'm like 45 hours in the game. Christ. And I need to fucking beat this bitch before September hits when every other game comes out, because that's going to be hell on earth. I haven't really played anything else. I think it's primarily been Octopath. That's it.
Okay. Shadow Fox, anything other than Octopath?
I too have been bit by the Octopath Day virus. So
He knows.
I'm currently Tressa is the last person I have to complete the game with, so I'm currently finishing her chapter 4 right now, and then I got dragons to kill after that, so I have to go kill dragons and get the rest of these other hidden divine skills. So I've got 2. I need to find the other ones, and then I'll be done with the game. I'm not looking for hidden items. I'm done. I'm not 100% like some of these other people. So once I find the rest of those skills, I'm done, and then I'll move on to Xenoblade 2 DLC to end the rest of my life, and then eventually I got to go back to X, because killing everything on foot is fun. I'm sorry.
You were a crazy person.
Let me ask you about Octopath, since you have by far the most hours. Are you do you get over the visuals, or are you still do you still find yourself saying, "Damn, that looks cool"?
Man,
that looks great.
They look great to me. It throws you off because you see simplistic, you see simplistic pixel art, right? And then you see a lighting effect that was just introduced in 2006. And then you see other things you see stuff like the Paper Mario, because when you go into a house or something like that, it actually opens up like a pop-up book. So it's like a combination of all those styles, and it's different every single time, and they do something different with each cutscene and just different things. I don't know, it's cool to me, and the different special effects when you do different abilities and stuff too. I thought was really a nice touch, and the voice work is great. So
because I haven't bought it or played it, but every time I see a screenshot, I'm just like, Jesus, that looks fucking amazing. I'm just wondering if that wears off. That many hours.
Nah, I don't.
And if you get bored, you can just kill villagers randomly too. It's just
listen, you shouldn't do that though. To be fair. You can, but you shouldn't do it.
You should kill them and then thank them for being a worthy opponent.
For some reason, it's only when you fail these challenges that they go, "Oh, your reputation's been ruined." What?
Yeah,
I can beat the shit out of this child, but if I lose the fight, then it's a problem. Okay.
Huh. All right, so T, what have you been playing?
I put my Switch down, man. I ain't been playing no Switch. You know, I played a little bit of what's the game? Wolfenstein 2. But I've been mostly playing my 3DS. Believe it or not, can't believe it. And some GameCube, man. I'm playing because I did my little my live stream.
Trash console, the worst Nintendo system ever.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, it's trash now. Now that the Switch probably passed it up, so that means the GameCube is also trash. So,
Oh my god!
I've been playing. I started playing Heroes of Ruin again in Dark Alliance games I talked about in my stream. So I started holding new games on those, and man, these games are so good still. So that's what I've been playing mostly. But I'm starting back on my Switch this week.
All right, clocked it. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm kind of like T as well, man. I've had a bit of a hellish week where I've had the week off to look after my kids while they're on their school holidays, but I haven't been able to relax. So I've just been like dabbling in some retro stuff. I've been playing Star Wars Rogue Squadron on the N64, which still holds up, man. It's still so good. So I've been really enjoying that. I actually found my original Game Boy in a shoebox with some old games.
Nice.
My box copy of Link's Awakening and Super Mario Land. So I was chuffed to find those again because I thought I lost them. And I've also been playing Gremlins 2 on the Game Boy, which is one of my most played Game Boy games.
I may have to call you out there, Clark, because I've heard a billion times about, could you say you weren't able to relax. I heard a billion times you can lay back with your Switch and relax in bed.
Wow.
It's so comfortable.
The best thing about it is so comfortable. Nobody wants to sit in a chair and play video games. You
Definitely don't want to play them on your TV, your big nice TV that you swore.
Yeah,
that
true.
it's
Of course not. You want to be able to relax, man. It's too much on your back.
It's been weird. I just haven't been able to sit down and just like concentrate on Octopath. Not because I'm not enjoying it. I just haven't been able to get into the zone. So I've just been dabbling in some other things. But yeah, I've got them. I've cleared two characters with a trap two and stuff. But yeah, I haven't really been focusing on any individual game at the moment. So just a bit of dabbling here and there. But yeah, I'm hoping. Probably just get back into the zone and get cracking on with Octopath because I want to get that out of the way as well. So yeah, not too much exciting for me in terms of new games.
All right, and I just want to say that the Switch's first 9 months just absolutely crushed the entire GameCube's first-party software output for its lifetime. So that's pretty much
9 months, not the first year and a half.
Yeah,
GameCube is officially trash.
Facts. I mean, just absolute facts.
Wait, what are you talking about? Did you just
numbers, man. Numbers no less.
Switch's first 9 months already beat the GameCube's entire lifetime of first-party software.
Yeah. Oh my god,
quality.
November 2002.
Because we're talking Wind Waker versus Breath of the Wild and Sunshine versus Odyssey and whatever
contest.
and
what, Hollow Knight versus Metroid Prime? No.
I feel like it's like one of them arguments that doesn't even seem like a real argument because it's like I wonder if the new shit with the advancements in technology and game design is better than the old shit.
We need to slow down here now. Slow down.
Even the GameCube was was almost the top technical console out as far as power and stuff, and that didn't help Nintendo's first party efforts for some reason, in my opinion.
Well, that's because it essentially was a PS3 situation.
It really helped third party.
Yeah, and a lot of the first party games were holdover from the N64 too. Animal Crossing. And
I don't count Rare, even though all they had was
Evolution.
Yeah. But anyway, what I've been playing, I've just said that because Retro's in the live chat.
Because he's a motherfucking instigator.
But I actually played quite a few games. I got in a few matches of Fortnite and played Paladins. I've total of 2 matches total on my 2 play sessions. And I picked a character that actually used a gun. You could aim down the sights, and they really nailed the actual mechanics. It feels fast and fluid, just like Call of Duty. If anything, that proves that the speed and precision and feel of Call of Duty is easy. I mean, it's maybe not easy, but it can be on Switch, like no problem. I don't know what they have to do, but not that I want Call of Duty. I'm just saying it feels and plays very similar. Every button I think is the same. It just instantly I felt at home. Just a little bit weird with the whole lobby and trying to find players. It's kind of wonky, and like if not everybody joins, and then you have to start the search over. It's kind of a bad system, so that's why I didn't keep playing. But of course, put in some Rocket League time, which when we're talking about the good and bad of online play, I got a few stories about some bad for that. And what I was just playing earlier today, and I think Terrell will know what I'm talking about, was a little jammies mode. You know what game that is?
Yeah, I know. Is the character a female, and does she have purple hair?
Yeah.
That she whip it back and forth.
She uses a pillow now instead of her hair.
That shit's so cute. Gives me fucking diabetes.
So I saw I had I turned my Wii U on.
Diabetic gaming.
Shut up.
I turned my Wii U on because I wanted to actually play a level of Mario Maker. I was watching Dashy, and he was playing this level, and it was like this dude made this trollish level, like he could not figure out how to get anywhere. So I went and did the code, downloaded the level, and went into edit mode to find out where the fuck you actually had to go. And it was just this guy made the most tedious. Almost every jump there was a hidden block that would make you fall to your death. It's like just terrible game design, unless you absolutely know. Like if you go in knowing that, and you just like I'm gonna figure out this level, but still, like halfway through you had about 50 invisible blocks you had to hit to like make your way up, and if you died you had to start all over. It was a terrible level, but anyway, I turned my Switch or Wii U on, and I saw download complete for Shantae Half Genie Hero. So earlier today I was like, oh, I forgot to check it out. And there's some modes that you have to purchase because I wasn't a Kickstarter. But then
on the Wii U?
Yeah, the Wii U.
Oh, I need to check that.
Like Risky
Bolo,
Boots.
Sky, and
You have to go to a special room to play your Wii U. That must have been an effort right there.
No, it's just it's in this room.
Oh, I thought you like that was one of your things. Is that you was like, all right, I'm done with it because I don't have to come down here.
Well, I mean, I don't really want to. It's not ideal playing on a movie projector. Like, I mean, it looks good, but it definitely on an 82-inch screen doesn't quite have the same feel. And I think there's just some input lag going on from that. So I was just playing on the on the gamepad screen, and it's like, man, this game is really freaking solid. And the thing about the jammies mode is it has each little area has 3 little octopus guys you got to find, kind of like the green stars in Mario, 3D World. So I was like, I like that kind of stuff. So I might actually keep playing just to see. And they've kind of, the levels are the same, but it's kind of, I don't know, they took out the story stuff, and it's just.
Is that on Switch now?
I'm sure, yeah.
It's gotta be.
It's been on
the game. I haven't checked.
Shanta's been on Switch for a year.
Every Wii U game on Switch now.
Thanks for mentioning that, because I was wondering why I had a yellow light on my Wii U. I turned it on and I was like, I didn't see anything. I was like, what happened? I don't know.
Because I noticed it was
they got new updates. I didn't even notice.
That's what I was like, what the fuck's downloading? So I had turned it on. But and then I think that's it for games I played. But yeah, so before we get on to the next topic, I just got to ask T, because I seen it in the chat. Your thoughts on Hat in Time coming to the Switch?
I'm surprised he didn't freak out in the chat earlier when I posted it.
But it couldn't be done. That's all I kept hearing is, Unreal Engine 3 doesn't work on Switch, and can't be done. Yeah, you couldn't avoid them. They couldn't avoid them sales much longer as far as
money talks.
Goes. Like money talks.
Excuse us while we play this Unreal Engine 3 game.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Exactly.
hope it sounds like ass.
I'm still not buying it. So
like ass in time.
Whatever. Good for those who want it. Like I'm if you guys are happy, go out and buy it. But for me,
fuck.
And it's sad for me to have to say that, but it's not just the way he came at the like Nintendo fans. I heard the dude is like real shady with the company. Like there were former employees just kind of dogging him. So
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Or what did they say? Like to Nintendo fans or something? Like they're asking for it.
I can't even remember anymore.
I
Well, we
did
don't
a
have to
video
put
on
our.
this.
It was something like we don't have to put our game. We don't have to put our game
can
on
do
there.
whatever
We
we
can
wanna
do
do.
whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have to think that he was either about to put it on or start working on it for the Switch, or somewhere around negotiations about it. Maybe I can't remember exactly when this whole Twitter situation went down, but it's like you never burn potential bridges. You never do that. Like you just don't do that as a businessman. That's what I was saying. Like you got to understand. Like I understand. Like everybody was coming after him as far as the bell's ringing, the doorbell's ringing. Everybody was coming after him.
I'm so confused.
That's the Hat in Time developer coming to whoop your ass.
Yeah,
This podcast is awesome.
The director of Hat in Time. We need to talk. I understand people were coming after him because of. Oh, great! I got a nice background noise now. Hold on a second.
Yeah, because the Wii
Come
U
back to me. Hold on.
wasn't the Wii U a Wii U port part of the goal of the Kickstarter? And I'm not sure. Didn't it hit it though? Does anybody remember?
And the whole philosophy of A Hat in Time was to rekindle the GameCube age of platformers. That was used in all the
GameCube,
quotes.
not an N64. I'm trying to.
It's kind of a combination of both. It's kind of like an N64 feel, but really in the style of GameCube.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was built up.
Oh.
With Nintendo fans in mind and stuff. So
yeah,
I done a similar video as well. Like I cursed him out because I call it trash. I think it's one of my most actually thumbed down videos for whatever reason.
Well, it doubled the goal for a Wii U version back on the Kickstarter. So the fact that they were being back.
Yeah,
I was just reading. They had
sound like Project Cars.
They had a Wii U.
We don't talk about that game
for the Kickstarter for a Wii U port back in the day, and it doubled that goal. Like it exceeded it by 200%, and they still were being dicks about bringing a Switch version. So
right. I mean, there's that. What was I talking about? What was I saying about the?
I don't know.
The director. Now you're messing me up.
I don't know.
I mean, there was that, but it was like he was being like
an asshole.
Yeah, it was, and it was like obviously there was the whole, like you just said, Kickstarter, the extra goal and whatnot, and
if you remember the Twitter, because I remembered it because like I said, I did a video on it as well, and the Twitter post was just some random fan, asking if the game was coming to the Switch, and the way he reacted to that fan was he would say, "I will do whatever I want." He put dots and spaces, and after every single bloody word that he typed in capital letters.
Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
To this random fan. Yeah.
It's because people were trying to compare it to like Kamiya and whatnot, and I'm like, well, this is a different situation. Like they were getting death threats, so people don't remember like what was happening with the whole Bayonetta situation. So it's a little different. This is the difference with this is that people were just asking for the game. They didn't even bring up the Wii U stuff, the Wii U stretch goal, or any of that stuff. It was just people just asking why. Because they can look at the game and be like, oh, this is a very Nintendo-like game. They were, the whole Kickstarter thing, they were using like N64 boxes and stuff to sell the game with. And like, obviously, Nintendo fans were like, wait, where's the Nintendo love? So he went, like you said, he was just being real vitriolic with people who didn't know. Everybody's not on your Twitter 24/7. They don't know how you answered that question last. So you got to treat every new person differently because they don't know that you said, well, we're not bringing it and we can't bring it. It was just a new excuse after one new excuse. And it was just like, come on, man, just you don't want to bring the game, fine, but don't make up all these bogus excuses that we know aren't the reason, and be an asshole with everybody. Like, I mean, that was the problem. It was like he was just being.
And then I'm looking at a page for A Hat in Time, and the game that I don't know who picked it out, but that is associated with this is Banjo-Kazooie. I don't know if that's accurate or not with how the gameplay works, but that's a game that's tagged with this title.
They knew the fans that they were trying to attract. Like, nope, it wasn't Spyro. Like it was the game had a Wind Waker look to it, and it obviously had that collectathon kind of setup, which is very.
And now the dude's eating his words because the money's too. The potential sales are just too good, and they had
Well, you got to imagine the same thing. They were holdouts because they were holdouts on Wii U. That's pretty much what you're looking at here. They're like,
but they weren't. They had a stretch goal for Wii U and they exceeded it. So,
but I just mentioned another stretch goal that they just said, F you on, kind of.
Well, yeah, I'm just.
The Nintendo stretch goals always seem to get met. To be honest with you, it's just they don't already have stuff in place to make it happen. They're just like, maybe if you throw a whole bunch of money at us, maybe we'll find somebody to port it, because they're not gonna. That's not the lead platform, and it's never gonna be. So, hey, podcast goals. So, yeah.
All right, so let's get into the first topic, and that's going to be the indie game showcase that just came out of nowhere, only on Nintendo UK's YouTube channel. I don't know what the hell, why that's not on Nintendo's of America.
Because we're better than you.
But I do
real quick. What is the other Unreal Engine 3 game that's on Switch?
Those two horror games, Outlast 1 and 2.
Yeah, Outlast.
That's right.
And they ported those in 2 weeks.
In Rocket League?
Yeah.
Rocket League's Unreal Engine 3 as well.
Yeah. So, but you remember what their excuse was when somebody asked further? They said, it's a heavily customized version of Unreal Engine 3. I'm like, okay, you starting to sound like the Mortal Kombat team now. Don't just stop with the excuses, man.
It's
Yeah.
bold.
That's a damn shame.
Indie Highlights is what it's called. They dropped the Nindies. They actually have a female narrator for, I think, the first time I've ever heard.
Of course.
But it was a good presentation. Still, again, Nintendo UK is literally the only place I see this.
That's the only place you needed to be, all right?
It's only got 194,000 views because not everybody's subscribed to Nintendo UK.
Hey, man. Hey, don't talk down to UK, man. What you trying to say?
It's not even Nintendo of Europe.
Wow, he gonna dog them out.
The one of the smallest region.
Just dog them
He's
out.
dogging out.
What's with you? Just chill out. What's wrong?
I'm trying to explain to people in case somebody hasn't seen it, that if they're not subscribed to Nintendo UK, then they probably don't know this even happened.
Yeah, I tried to watch the first couple of minutes of it.
I had to skip through. Once I saw the game they're talking about, I skipped ahead a lot, but there's definitely some standouts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give, I don't want to steal anybody, so I won't go first. Let's go to Clocked It. What was two standouts? Without going into detail first, what were two games to you that stood out?
Okay, well, the two games that I will most likely definitely be getting is Wonder Boy and Everspace.
Okay, those are my two standouts as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Never mind. I can't say nothing.
All right. Anybody else have any other ones? Let's just make
anymore. I just what you're saying.
I was always a fan of the concept of Morpheus anyway, so I'm gonna at least check it out. That's kind of what I'm into right now. $19.99. We'll see what happens.
All right, Terrell, did you have? I think you probably liked Wonder
Boy. Not really. Clocked It kind of took the one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because Wonder Boy looks. Speaking of Shantae Half Genie Hero, it looks like
that is what it looks like.
Same team. It looks like the same art style and everything. So, T, did you get a chance to check out the indie highlights?
I did. I didn't. I was kind of busy doing something at the time, but so I didn't really pay over attention. But there were a couple of standouts for me. Not that I can remember the name. The one space shooter game looked cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's the one Clocked It was talking about.
Everspace.
Yeah, Everspace. Yeah,
that was my top. That's really the only major standout. And then Wonder Boy looks, because of Shantae's,
Wonder
pretty
Boy.
good.
Yeah. I have
looks
Dragon's
cool,
with a
too.
Dragon's Trap. I have that one. So
All right, so let's talk about Wonder Boy first. Collector, why don't you go ahead and what stood out to you the most about it? And obviously you said you're gonna get it. Is what?
Yeah, I mean, I got one of the Wonder Boys on the Switch already. I've been stuck on it for months. So it's a really difficult game. But this new Wonder Boy, it just looks. I mean, first of all, you got like the completely awesome animated intro and stuff, which just looks like a Saturday morning cartoon. And it just
Except
looks.
that music wasn't so great in my opinion, but
No, I love the
Really?
vocals to that, man. Yeah, I was really enjoying it. But yeah, and then you get into the game itself, and it's just I did a video a while back on like 2D gaming, how we need more games with 2D art styles, and as soon as I'd done that video, like a wealth of games started coming out then. But I mean, this game looks beautiful. I love the animation, gorgeous colors. It's got all the different characters and stuff, and I just think it looks like just you could see the effort put into this game, just to get the animation perfect and stuff, and it looks a lot more forgiving than the earlier Wonder Boy games, which you have to remember were based off the Master System. So gameplay wise, they're they can be very difficult. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about everyone else. I think it looks gorgeous, Wonder Boy.
yeah, it's like I said, it reminds me of Shantae Half Genie Hero for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot more varied environments and looks like a lot of different characters you can switch into or change. I don't know what the mechanic is or if that's been in any other games, but it definitely looks like
it is. Yeah, that is the Wonder Boy theme. You can transform like that. I can't. I think I got the Dragon's Curse. I think is the one I got. And in that one, you change into a lizard who breathes fire and like a underwater like mermaid type dude. You can swim in the water. You could turn into a mouse who's small and can walk on walls, and then you'll change into all these characters to navigate around the world. Access new areas and do certain puzzles and stuff. But I mean, this newer game just looks even better. Even though the one I got looks beautiful anyway, but they've just taken it to the next level with this one. So yeah.
All right. Terrell, you wanna? It was one of your highlights.
There's not a lot more I can say,
Okay.
unfortunately. Yeah, it looks good. Looks like a lot of fun. And I am interested in playing it.
All right, and I'm gonna link in the live chat. There was one other game, and the pixel art reminds me of that game Clock that you did a video on, or you were playing it when you were talking about like seeing a game for the first time. The first impressions. You remember what game you were playing? That little dude with the cape.
What?
You made a video about games making a good first impression and the gameplay.
Hyperlight Drifter.
Yeah, Hyperlight Drifter. Well, there's one of the games was called Moonlighter, which I just linked in the chat, and it's that kind of that pixel art kind of style, but it's complete a Link to the Past like game design. Like even some of the bosses and dungeon and screen, it's a very Zelda inspired almost clone. That looked kind of cool, but I have a little thing about playing like a complete copy type of game where it's so similar in so many ways that it almost feels like even has them like waking up in a little cottage or something, and like it's a little too much inspired by where I'm saying it's almost borderline just straight copying.
Mm-hmm.
This game looks almost more like Jotun. I don't know if you played that. It was based on Nordic mythology. You play a female Viking, and you'd have to fight the Nordic the gods and stuff. And it was the same type of like art style and type of adventure and stuff. Actually, I like that game because I love Nordic mythology, and in the whole text in that they actually speak in Icelandic, so that's like real authenticity to it. But yeah, I mean, Moonlighter, I think, like I said, it looks like another Zelda type of clone, but I can't seem to get enough of these games. If they get the art style right, then I'll play another game exactly like it. So.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't know. I've always had a weird thing about playing something that's such a the inspiration is so obvious that it's like, why don't I just play A Link to the Past? It's so similar. Even when you see a boss, it's like that's the same. Like boss is A Link to the Past. So anyway, Shadow, you're about to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they're partial publisher or what have you. 11-bit Studios. They did another game that's also on this list, Children of Morta, but it's basically a roguelike. So they're taking the same like concepts and then they're doing different gameplay styles with them. So they're saying, hey, well, we'll do the old school action RPG, then we'll do the old school roguelike, and then they're basically coming up with their own stuff all over again. But we already have enough of these on. Well, we may not have enough of them on Switch. We already have these on other platforms, so I don't know how well these will end up doing. But I mean, you don't have any excuses if you say that you have nothing to play on Nintendo Switch. Like every genre seems to be covered with indies and third parties at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and that Everspace game definitely looks above your average indie game, like from a visual standpoint. It's already out on PC. There's reviews. I haven't checked out to see if the game's any good. I just know that it looked pretty cool. So I guess Everspace. I'll start with my first impression was, why didn't Star Fox Zero look like this? That was like my first. Like, it doesn't have to look that, go for that much realism, but why does it look so much better than a Nintendo in Platinum's effort? But that doesn't mean the gameplay or anything is going to be is great. I mean, it could be boring as hell for all I know. But it did definitely kind of give me that Star Fox vibe. But entirely in space, I don't think I've seen anything on a planet or on a surface of any kind. But it's like if that's a good game, then I will welcome it on the Switch, and it could be, probably the one that I came away with. Like that's probably the biggest potential purchase for me on the Switch. Even though I could get it on PC right now, I would get it on Switch. So anybody else get the Star Fox vibe or?
Well, I mean, it kind of reminds me of a space MMO. I can't think of the name of it right now, where they came up with their own rendering engine to where you can go from space directly onto the surface of a planet.
You're talking about the one that people were comparing
No Man's Sky to?
No Man's Sky to, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you should buy this if you like No Man's Sky. This is what No Man's Sky should be. I can't remember the name of it.
Starlink does that too.
And Beyond Good and Evil is supposed to be doing it too.
But this doesn't look like you can go down to a planet. Everything seems to be in space.
Yeah, it just looks really clean. It looks
really clean.
If that's nice. Switch footage they showed in that direct and not PC footage, it's like, dang, that looks really nice. But I kind of have a feeling it was the PC footage.
Yeah, they'll probably just drop the resolution or something if need be. It doesn't look like it's a lot of heavy CPU stuff, so I don't think it should be that much of a problem on portable. To be honest, it looks like just a lot of really good graphics effects.
I think you might be talking about, because it's always been on my wish list to finally get around to buy it on PC. You're probably talking about Elite Dangerous. Was that the one you think of?
I don't know. I don't think it's Elite Dangerous that does it. You do go. That is the concept, that in Star Trek and all those other MMOs, but I don't think that's the one that was demoing the jump from space directly to Earth or what have you.
Maybe think of the game hasn't released yet, which is Star Citizen, which is the next level of craziness.
Maybe, I don't know. It's probably the same video that Mr. T was talking about, but it was literally No Man's Sky and that game side by side, and they were showing how you can go literally from space to, instead of the screen turning white, no, it gradually zoomed in and showed you everything that all the LODs were coming into place properly.
It's on my Steam wish list. I know. See if I can find it.
That's real interesting that
Well, somebody NeoStar9 says it's really good, so I mean that's only one person, but if it's a good game, then I'd definitely welcome that type, because Collective was just talking about playing Rogue Squadron on the N64, so
Gorgeous.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind playing a little space shooter.
It's all about that Rogue Leader. Oh wait, GameCube sucks, right? That's all right. My bad.
That game looks great.
Sucks now, man. Sorry.
That game
First
looks
9 months
amazing.
blown away, supposedly.
I got it on launch. Rogue Leader was the sequel.
Yeah.
But talk
24
about
million people were wrong.
For me, the game that was kind of, once I got through it a couple times, I was like, yeah, it's kind of boring playing these levels again, but it looked beautiful.
Yeah, that's not a game that I don't even know why they put all that in there, but it's not a game that you just play through. It is cool to play it and not play it seriously, just to hear like the commentary and show. And they literally told you how they built the game, which I thought was pretty cool. But other than that, there's no reason to play through that stuff. Like some people want to go through it and complete certain missions so you get a better ranking. No.
I don't know. It never did me. I always enjoyed,
Oh, there it is. Elite Dangerous.
So it was Elite Dangerous? Okay.
I was right.
Maybe that's what it was. He was right.
Yeah, he was right.
Anyway, any other indie show, any thoughts on the fact that, like I said, this was only on one of Nintendo's YouTube channels? Like, I mean,
It's weird.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
It was weird.
So disjointed.
It was weird, but considering the games they showed, it kind of made sense. I mean, like, there is Windjammers love here in the States, but it's only from certain very self-important people.
Well, I just actually thought of a reason why they might have did. They said a lot of these games would be playable at Gamescom, so maybe the UK channel's getting it first, just because Gamescom, I'm guessing, it's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's like this weekend.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if this.
How was the 25th?
I'm sure it's between like the 22nd to the 25th. I could be wrong. Maybe that's just a run up to it.
I don't get it though. It's a voice over an MPEG. Like, use a different voice, upload the MPEG again. Don't
tell me what to do, Shadowfox. It's my game. Let me do what the fuck I want.
I guarantee you that it's going to hit the other YouTube. Now that I think of it, I think it's just because it's a little promotion for Gamescom ahead of Gamescom. I'd be shocked if this doesn't hit. But would they change that part? Like, if they release it on the Nintendo of America gets it like later in the week or next week, they'd probably not want that whole part about Gamescom in there.
That's just weird, because that's not going to take away from those games. I think it would be better if they put it in all territories. So when it is shown during Gamescom, more people are
some
paying
of these
attention.
If not all of them were, we never knew this was coming to Switch. These weren't a bunch of indies we've seen before.
Yeah.
Like on Switch. So a lot of these were, hey, this is coming to Switch. Like, no one knew that these were coming to Switch. So
Nintendo with them NDAs, they hiding that power.
It was a weird thing, but the leaks of a surprise Nintendo Direct, do those people consider that they were right with the indie highlights that's Nintendo UK only? You think they're considering themselves correct with that one? With that?
You know what I think people are doing? I think people are literally spamming the DNS namespaces that Nintendo registers every day. And when they see a new one, they say, "Oh, it's a direct. It's a direct. It's a direct." And they think they're clever. Like, no, we can all do this.
How many people? I'm literally not followed to anyone that reports on that kind of stuff, but I've seen somebody liked on Twitter. You can't help but some of your following likes a video from somebody about, Nintendo leaked Direct coming tomorrow, surprise Direct. And I'm just curious if they're like, oh, we were wrong, or does that count? Does that count as a correct? Like for later on. Yeah,
but some people are so intentionally vague, they're never wrong, because they say things like, I don't know, Nintendo will make games this year. It's like
it's gonna be a Direct this year.
I mean, this individual, I was talking about this earlier on Twitter anyway, but this individual said these games from Wii U are going to be ported to Switch. Then they said after that, if they don't come to Switch, they're in development. Like, what kind of cover is that? That's ridiculous. Like, that's so broad.
Of all time, man. Don't underestimate that ability to backtrack.
Yeah, I didn't think about, because I hate talking about rumors and leaks. But
because everything traumatizes you.
New Super Mario Brothers U leak is ports coming, like
supposedly. Yeah,
it's also not really a shocking thing anyway.
Yeah, like what?
It is pretty shocking in my opinion.
Really?
Like, if that's real, that's like Nintendo just taking this whole port thing to just a level I didn't think they would.
But if
really,
they do
that's the straw where it's like, oh,
if they
Yeah,
do that though, they should just go back and get Nintendo Land. Then just go bring all that shit and
because
yeah,
it
to me,
sold
to
pretty
Nintendo,
well.
that would be that game.
It sold. There was really nothing in the first year, so I mean, it sold pretty well. And New Super Mario Brothers Wii sold ridiculous, so maybe they think, hey, if we do what we did for Mario Kart, give it a second chance. But if they're so deaf to their fan base about what people think of that series anyway, especially the Wii U version, then that would just tell me they're absolutely tone deaf.
To be fair,
No, it did. The Wii U version was a good game, man.
was a better return to form than the fucking, what was it, the DS game, the new Super Mario
Yeah,
Brothers.
that's a
New
great
Super Mario
game.
Bros. 2.
Don't get me
Like
wrong.
to me, it was I wouldn't say a return to form, but it definitely was an improvement to where they were before.
Even though I say it's one of the best 2D, it's like number 3, which there hasn't been a ton of 2D Mario games, really, like core ones.
To me, it felt like Super Mario World on crack. So I was like, okay, I can play this. This is fine.
It's a great game, but it's 6 years old.
Yeah.
Should
There's no
make
reason.
videos
They
of
should
them.
just make a new one instead.
Yeah,
They should have already made a new one.
Yeah.
And I know they took a long gap between Super Mario World and New Super Mario Brothers, but that's because the 3D era kind of took everybody by storm, and they just didn't. Now they know that people like 2D games. There's absolutely no reason to re-release this game. Like I will actively boycott this game if it ever becomes official.
And it's not Super Mario Club
Like,
doing this.
what is
It's some other internal team they have building these. I forgot the
I
name.
don't think I'm not saying it's taken away from any new game. It's not looking at it like that. It's just like they're so oblivious to like that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Just people are done with the new Super Mario Brothers series. Like they've been over it. And
to be fair, you can make the same argument for Mario Party, and they still release those.
God, man.
Yeah, that's a new game though. I'm not talking about.
No, I'm not talking about Mario Party. I'm talking about the ones they released beforehand. No,
like if they would release Mario Party 10 instead of Super Mario Party, that to me would be a similar like, hey, these guys just don't. Even though the new game don't mean anything to me, but
I'm just saying it's the same situation where people have gotten so burnt out on their variation of it to the point where it's like, yeah, just leave it alone for a while.
yeah, I think there was
even
quite
this
a few
one,
people saying that about the 2D Mario. Hey, you need to go back to drawing board and kind of reinvigorate it. Don't release another quote unquote new of the new games. And I think releasing a port would just be basically
structure ever.
That would be the worst. I don't know what would be worse, you guys. Honestly, I mean, it's hard to know for sure, but that port or another new game in the new Super Mario Brothers series. What do you think would have the worst reaction by people?
No, I think I don't think the problem is the new Super Mario Brothers games themselves, because they all play great, and I used to love watching Nintendo do those 5-player Super Mario Bros. U speedruns where one person had the pad and they were just flying across the screen, doing crazy jumps and combos with the platforms and stuff. They were freaking awesome. And Super Mario Bros. U was a really good game. My only problem with those games is not necessarily the name and stuff and how they're designed. It's the art style.
Mm-hmm.
I got bored with the art style. So if a new Super Mario Bros. Game came out and it just had a slightly different art style, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, I think the art style would. I mean, is kind of a big factor.
He's snoring. Is he completely done with the new Super Mario Bros. Series?
But if it gave it a new art style, then why would even call it? Why even keep calling it new Super Mario
to me,
Brothers?
it's more of it's more of what's the difference between if it's a new game, whether people would be angry at that or a port depends on how different the new game is. The new
What
game
if it's just basically a sequel to New Super Mario Brothers U?
What if the name is just lazy as fuck?
Well, I mean,
that's the whole problem.
To be fair, that is the whole series in its own
What
right.
if they just take what we saw in Mario Maker, and New Super Mario Brothers U?
Well, that's the whole point. Why would you want another one when we have Mario Maker at this point?
Well, Mario Maker does have quite a bit of limitations on what you can do.
Well, I'm just saying, if you put out a Switch port of Mario Maker and add more stuff to it, like they tend to be doing at least.
That's the other argument. People are like, why release a new Super Mario Brothers port when you could Mario Maker gives us so much more
I wouldn't
potential.
mind as much if I knew I was getting Mario Maker.
Mario Maker cannot quench the thirst of a new 2D Super Mario Bros.
No, nobody's saying that.
When
Like,
Nintendo creates the levels, yeah.
yeah, because that's the thing. Like, okay, great, you gave it Mario Maker, but I'm not from a Nintendo team. I can't make a level like you can, so it doesn't matter.
You can try though.
Yeah.
I tried to
People were saying that though.
Yeah, I know people were saying it's like, oh, we don't need any more 2D Mario. Shut up.
Crazy.
Oh, so we can play your troll ass levels? That's better than what Nintendo can put out.
I will say,
People still sneak diss the shit out of like New Super Mario Brothers because people still run on that whole mindset that there's too much of Mario.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't think it was. I really think Clocked hit it with the art style thing. I think if the art style was like, hey, we're not gonna just make an HD version of Wii, which was like a barely better version of the DS game, and say that we're gonna put some actual effort in some really, like, let's make some awesome, really cool looking levels with the great art, our level design.
Oh, what about that lazy ass music?
The music, there wasn't a whole lot of. I mean, there was a couple worlds on Mario Brothers U, New Super Mario Brothers U that, like, wow, why wasn't there more like this? But it was
They need
level.
to just make a new 2D Mario and not try to constrain it in the New Super Mario.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question, and I don't know if anybody even answered it. What do you think would upset fans more? A port of New Super Mario Brothers U, or a new game? It basically is just a sequel to New Super Mario Brothers U.
I probably would say the new game in the same style because the new game shows that they haven't learned a goddamn thing. A port is just a cash in.
I think I'd be equally as pissed.
I think so too.
Really? I would be way more annoyed at seeing a new game.
At least the new game like has gonna have new levels because they did have great level design.
Yeah, but to me, if you're still riding the same coattails of something that works and you're not trying to innovate, then what's the point?
How was making a port of the old game that nobody wants?
Well, no. I mean, look,
that's
a cash in. That's just, to me, that's just a cash.
Well, that pisses me off too.
Yeah, I think
the port isn't as offensive to me.
To me, the port's way worse.
It's more offensive.
I don't understand why. I really don't.
Because I have 50 hours in that game, so I'm not going to buy it. So I have nothing new to play. At least
how is that? I don't understand how that's more offensive than a lazy
because it's a
new
Wii
game.
U. It's a Wii U launch game, and you haven't done dick with Mario 2D since then. Like that, this is the best you can do with Mario.
Even
2D,
if it only had a year development time, I guarantee you they have enough creativity in level design to make a really good game, even if it looks the same.
The cutting room floor levels, put that together and call it
I disagree. I personally think,
but I think the majority. I think it would be pretty split. So I'm actually going to do a poll on Twitter of that.
I don't get it. How would a port of an older Wii U game piss you off more than a new Super Mario?
Exactly. I don't understand.
Because it's a new game I can play with new levels.
That doesn't make any sense. A lazy new game is
because it's still a new damn game.
At least it's a new game, yeah.
And it's a great game. I mean, it was a great game. I love.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers U was good. Like, it wasn't a bad game.
But you're saying you're comparing that to getting a new game that essentially just rehashes the same shit anyway.
I'm not saying it rehashes it.
Well, okay. I guess that's a better. What do you? I guess give me a specifics. When you say new game, like are you talking about
a new game that's called New Super Mario Brothers Switch, but is in all new levels?
Yeah,
like every level's new.
How is that more offensive?
Well, that just seems like that doesn't even seem like what's the point of having?
They're using they're going to use the same art style. So I mean,
what? So the art?
You're going to keep using the new.
That's what the question is. Well, I don't think they're going to do that, but that's the question. To me, the port's more.
That didn't even seem like a fair question in the first place.
You didn't even hear the questions. Okay.
Because the question to me that's not even. I don't know why that even need to be a question. That's
ready to jump.
Because there's plenty of people that don't want to ever see a new Super Mario Brothers
just because of the art style, even if the game is
the name, everything.
I would still take that over the Wii U port. We get our wires crossed.
That's what I'm saying. I would be mad. I think you understood me.
I think we get our wires crossed. Yeah.
I said I would be way more pissed for the port than the new game.
So whatever.
Okay.
It's not worth it.
Is that where we were
Yeah, you made it say. You're comparing a new game to a port, and then ask the question like it needed to be a question. Nobody's gonna pick a port over a new game.
What? Some people
I
will.
think it's a fair question. I think there's people that would be more mad if they continued on with the new Super Mario
Yeah,
Brothers
'cause
series with a new game.
Nobody. I haven't heard one person like, "Oh yeah, I love the new Mario art style." For this,
So I mean, it's hard.
So
Nobody-
literally the only thing that makes it so just the art style would be exactly the same, even though it's a new game.
I don't like how he
brand new.
controls either. That was another of my issues.
Once you get used to them, I really like the control. So I'm going
Right.
to start that Twitter poll right now because I'm curious if maybe it's be a landslide, but
I don't
really,
even understand how that's
because
even an argument.
6 years on for some. I mean, here's the argument for why you might say a new game would be would piss you off more because 6 years in, and they're continuing with the new Super Mario Brothers series, same art style, than just making new levels. I mean, even though it's new levels, to me, that's enough. Where I wouldn't be happy, but I would be less mad. So you never know with people because I did the poll about Diablo, which we'll talk about next.
I just doubt that.
I would just be unexcited for it. And it's like, oh, it's good, it's a new one, but
Okay, that's a good response. Yeah,
I wouldn't
can
be
understand
excited
that.
for it because it's that same bland as
Yeah, I can get that.
cookie
I can
cutter
get that.
art style.
I'm just gonna move on. That's all.
Okay, so
I'm done. Just move on.
next,
Shadow Fox, he's just quiet. He's just like, holy shit, man. Flip mode, man.
I don't want
Y'all
nothing to do with
crazy.
There
this
was so much
conversation.
confusion in that. That's what ticked me off more than anything.
You mad? You mad?
Yes. That's actually not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say something else, but I wanted to keep it PG, so I'm not gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
Wii U
Tony
mad,
Fiverr.
son.
that's right. Just stop with the Wii U ports, period.
yeah, because I think
I mean, that's the
Captain
point.
Toad already broke my back with the camel's
He's the
back.
one who brought up the damn question.
He said, "Captain,
Don't talk Captain Toad again. Like, let's move on, man. Let's move on.
I feel like that's not the one you should have been mad about. That's besides the point.
Like I said from the beginning, no one game. It's not the one game. It's that it's the 6th or 7th game. You know,
It was,
everyone after that.
Avalanche."
That was the
Actually,
line.
I wouldn't even say that. I don't think it's the ports.
I think
themselves.
Hyrule Warriors.
I think
was
it's
kind
the
of
ports
start.
next to no new games. That's the problem. If you would put it this way, if you did a port of Yoshi's Woolly World next to the new Yoshi, how angry are you at the port now?
Well, they would have never done that.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
making the point. The reason why it's annoying isn't just because it's a port,
Or
because it's a substitute for a new game. That's the problem.
you're onto something there. They would have just did a port of Yoshi Woolly World, and we didn't know about this new Yoshi. Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. It's like,
You say they would do that though, and then what do we get? We got Fire Emblem Warriors, and then we got Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, about to say that wasn't even
That made no sense.
that was like what 6 months away from each other.
Because Fire Emblem Warriors still. I mean, there's still people like me and Red and IT. I don't even know if you bought it. Like,
no, I still haven't bought it. I was looking at it yesterday to buy, but
I think it was on sale.
Was it?
Yeah.
So now we have the inverse. Now everybody complained about the Wii U drought. Now, where your wallet at? Motherfucker, where your wallet at?
Well, now people
look at my collection of
it's weird
Switch games?
because people are mad. They're like, "Hey, man, I don't want to buy all these Wii U ports."
I just bought 2 more Switch games yesterday, so you ain't talking to me.
I never got it, man, because I was the person where I thought that there was just enough Wii U games for me because I was like, okay, I can't afford all these motherfuckers at $60 time they come out, and then they keep on, they were still regular enough where I could probably afford the time and the money to buy all the games that were coming out every year. Now it's like,
and I was balling on my 3DS at the time too, as well.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and
it's like
the indie was holding it down as well on Wii
Because
U.
the
so.
trade-off is this: it's like,
But
oh,
that's just an excuse.
I'm not spending as much money now, but now I want some more new games. I want a bunch of new games on top of, because I mean, it's not like the difference is we're not dealing with just Nintendo products anymore. Like we now have.
well, we never were.
I mean, but yeah,
We
but
were
I'm
dealing
saying
with
like.
less 3D. or
I'm saying we have more like quality third party to deal with versus the Wii U where it was like not as many, nowhere near as many.
Mostly
as
indie. I don't know,
Yeah,
but indie is third party though. So.
yeah, exactly. So to me, the trade off is like, okay, well this year we don't have to spend all our money as much, but damn it, I want some new games. ridiculous. Like,
Somebody in the chat says Xenoblade Chronicles X was worth the cash for me. I say yes, it was. Like several, almost 1,000 hours later. Yes.
Here's
yeah,
the
it was
thing.
still worth the money. Yeah.
Talking about the Switch or the Wii U and its
230
drought.
hours in that game.
Like when you were a Wii U owner, and basically, I didn't pick up PS4, Xbox One. You know, when did I get my PS4? 2016.
You got it like a
Yeah,
year
right before the
before.
We both
Switch.
got it at the same time. So
I got
yeah,
it.
right
I
before
got
the
it like
Switch.
a month
January
before the Switch
2016.
came
So
out.
when I had the Wii U, my Xbox 360 and PS3 were dead to me. Basically, I wasn't buying any new games. I had the Wii U. I had a PC that was capable of PS4, Xbox One. Maybe about PS4 Pro visuals. So I played a few games on there. But just to be honest, like I felt at the time it was kind of nice to not have a ton of options, because when you did pick up a game, me personally, I just felt so compelled to like focus on that game and get all I could out of that game, because I knew there wasn't a new one coming for 3 months, 4 months. And it was kind of nice to be able to focus on a game and not be like on Switch, especially if you're Ms. T. You don't know what to play, I'm guessing, with all those games.
Sometimes I will. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna play some games, and I'll sit here for like an hour trying to figure out what I want to
Hey,
play,
man,
and I end up not playing anything.
I think that's part of the reason why I wasn't as like disappointed and angry about Nintendo's offerings this year as much, because I'm enjoying what I got personally.
I don't want them to turn lazy just because they got.
I mean, no. I agree. I don't want them to be lazy, but I'm saying I wasn't as mad about it personally, because I was like, well, I need the free time anyway.
I don't think I was mad about it. I was just pointing it out because people were acting like it wasn't.
I'm mad because I look at the eShop and I want to cry. Like I'm like. I was just looking at all the other releases there were some games I wanted to buy on there, and then just 3 more just popped up like, hey, buy these now, because we just showed them on the YouTube video. And then they had a sale last week, and I'm like, what the like I can't get a handle on this. Can't get a handle on this shit. It's ridiculous, man.
So I think part B was making excuses, but it also, there was some truth to just knowing you have a couple months to really get. I mean, that's why when a game like Captain Toad didn't really have that much content for me, where I was like almost all but the very last like super challenging level within 12 hours into the game, that's like I needed something meaty because I knew there wasn't much in for a long time. So it was like, but if I had more options, I might not have bought a game like Captain Toad, or there were some games I might not have bought that I ended up liking, like Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like if there was a couple other options.
Oh, you're talking about a real game now.
I might not have actually picked that game up. So there was good and bad to the longer droughts. And I can't apply that with the Switch just because the 2 games they have released, other than the one they published being a Square game, and then the ports, there was just really no meat for me. And I actually am no longer a Mario Tennis owner. Sold it on eBay. So I rented the game for $10 because I lost $10 on the deal. But
that's not bad.
No. Anyway, let's we got to keep this train rolling, and we'll get into the Diablo 3 announcement.
I thought we talked about that already.
No.
About what?
Diablo 3. That just happened.
Wait a minute. That was my podcast.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can if you want to talk about how the leak kind of took some steam out of it, and how we maybe hit on what something like this could have been a decent little addition to a direct with some other like Child of Light announcement and some other announcements, some updates, and then a Smash trailer. Probably would have been a pretty decent direct. Man, it wouldn't have been amazing. But the thing I really want to talk about is just the potential for Blizzard if this game sells well, because people like to act like, oh, Bethesda's so much bigger than Blizzard. I've seen people in the poll I did saying that, and I'm like, Blizzard's pretty huge with the PC gamers.
Yeah,
the people that are Blizzard fans, like they're very loyal. So the potential for bringing in new Switch owners, I think, is way greater with Blizzard than it is if they bring a bunch more. If they keep
Well, the funny thing is, I think a lot of those guys are already there. I always hear a lot of PC guys talking about the Switches, and it's like that's what I expected to happen. That's what I wanted to happen with the Switch, because early on they're talking about how easy it was to port from PC, and I was like, oh, that's cool, because there's a lot of PC style games that you don't see on consoles that maybe they would give a chance on the Switch, and they've been doing that, and I'm like, that's real cool. And if you remember, a lot of PC dudes were kind of excited about what's that stupid application that was going to run their games on Switch from PC.
Oh, Rainway.
Yeah, Rainway. Remember Rainway, and how a lot of PC guys were excited about that, being able to play their games anywhere in the locally in the house and whatnot. So, yeah, obviously a game coming from Blizzard is a big thing, probably bigger. But I think the thing is Bethesda, because I always looked at Bethesda until like maybe the last 5 to 7 years as a PC game company too. But I think the difference with them is that you know them for a lot of different types of games. Other than Blizzard. Doesn't Blizzard do WoW? Am I wrong?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Warcraft, World of Warcraft. So you know them for that mostly, and obviously Diablo. So there's not a lot of games that you know them for. Whereas Bethesda, you got Fallout, you got Doom, you got Wolfenstein, you got what's the other game? Rage coming. And they do a lot of different types of games, and they're known for a lot more. Obviously, Skyrim.
Well, but Blizzard has the StarCraft series, I believe.
Yeah, no, but
Diablo,
not a lot of
WoW, Overwatch. They have the that card game based on
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, which there's no reason that shouldn't already been on.
It should have already been on there, by the way. Yeah, but those are very PC style game. That's what I'm saying. That most people won't see it that way, as being a big thing or bigger than Bethesda thing. It's because Bethesda is known more on consoles for longer than Blizzard is. And so that's why I think most people would see it that way. I totally see them as being as big. I said that I did your poll or whatever, and I picked them it being as big as, the Doom announcement. So I totally agree.
Yeah, let me the results of the poll. I asked, with today's announcement of Diablo 3 coming to the Switch, I'm curious how you'd rate the significance of it compared to last year's Doom announcement. So higher than Doom was 27%, on par with Doom as far as the significance of the announcement. I tried to make people, I think some people answered it based on hype before I corrected some people, so could change, but 38% said on par with Doom announcement, and then 35% said lower than Doom. Really what I was looking for is on par or higher. I could have probably grouped those together. So that was 65%, and 35% thought it was a lower significance. And the reason I asked that was because, like I said, when I set this topic up, was if this was part of a Nintendo Direct that wasn't just Smash, like Terrell was saying. I don't remember if it was a live stream, one of your videos where you're basically saying that you wouldn't have minded a little more than just Smash Brothers in the first Direct after E3. And that's kind of why I was asking this question, because I think this one had the hype level for most gamers as the Doom announcement. And some people was like, well, just the fact that Doom could run on the Switch, I think had a big impact on people. And now that's we're kind of over that. So maybe Diablo.
I wasn't surprised. I'm just throwing it out there.
But so yeah, I think they had enough with, even though Child of Light's an old game, but it's a beautiful game, has great music. Would have been a nice little announcement in a Direct with the Diablo 3 video they cut together, which may or may not have been planned as a Direct because of the leak. I think they were forced to put it out. And then
there was it was in the rumor mill before then. That to me hurt it more than even. Well, I guess they had
because I had forgotten that this game had ever been.
Oh, they were talking about.
I think
8 or 9 months leading up into that light switch thing.
I think you also got to put in perspective. Doom was a universally praised game, whereas when Diablo 3 came out, I remember seeing videos on the internet where Diablo 3 was not. Yeah, Diablo 3 was not like the most exciting game on the planet.
In the
Yeah.
beginning, but I mean, by the end, it seemed like they pretty much
Yeah,
corrected.
it turned it around.
Oh yeah, they turned around. It's just more so it
All
doesn't
I
have
remember-
the same high pedigree as I would say Doom did.
I would say the Diablo 3 coming out, because I was surrounded by a bunch of PC guys at work. I heard about Diablo 3 way more than Doom, but that's just me personally in that situation I was in. I expected Doom to be complete BS based on that E3 footage, and I did not think it was they were actually gonna pull that off. But by the time the Switch version got announced, I owned Doom, and it was should have been my game of the year for 2016. I don't know why I put it number 2.
Yeah, Doom kind of came like it's different. Like I'm with you because like with Diablo 3 was a big thing. I remember it being a big thing because Diablo 2 was like 2000, so Diablo 3 coming out and looking as great as it looked and whatnot was a huge thing. People were still loving Diablo 2 and playing the crap out of it. So, and then when Doom comes, it's just called Doom. So we're like, oh, we got Doom 3 on,
Yeah, why isn't this Doom
Xbox.
4?
Like,
I remember.
why isn't this Doom 4? And it's just going to be a rehash and blah, blah, blah. And it totally kicked everybody in the face with how good it was. It was very surprising. I remember not even paying too much attention to it because, they're rehashing Doom now, So obviously they did an amazing job with it. So the difference in between the launch of those two different games, to me, Diablo 3 was much higher on my radar than even Doom was.
So anybody actually going to pick it up on Switch?
Me.
Yes.
I've never played a game like this, and this is one of those what I was talking about earlier on the Wii U, where I would have probably gave a game like this a chance because there's literally nothing to play for stretches. But I am definitely curious about it. You can team up, right, and play as a squad. I'm guessing that's part of the deal.
Yeah, it's very much like
it comes with all the expansions, and it seems they're saying 60 frames per second, like 960p, which is weird, but still, that's a nice resolution.
It's gonna be clean. It's
gonna look nice. And if you guys get it, depending on the release date and how the whole Nintendo Switch Online works, and if that's tied to it, could be a factor for me. But it's a nice addition to a game that's older, but to me it has a pretty good pedigree. I didn't know of the launch date, the issues in the beginning because I didn't pay that close attention once it released.
Yeah,
but
can I say because I was there at launch, so the launch of Diablo 3 was hindered with the internet connection because let me just say one thing, that the hype around Diablo 3 was vastly more than anything Doom could conjure up.
That's true. That is true. It was fucking insane.
Vastly more. So the reason why Diablo crashed is because the whole fucking world wanted to play Diablo 3 at the same time. And when the whole goddamn world wants to play one game at the same time, it blows up.
Yeah.
So somebody in the chat saying it sold 3.5 million in the first day.
Yeah,
that just tells you right there.
You can't write off the hype that was Diablo 3 because coming off Diablo 2, Diablo 2 is to dungeon crawlers what Doom was to first person shooters, in a sense that when you mention dungeon crawlers, right, you mention Diablo. It's the first game you mention. Nothing else.
Gauntlet Legends, like I talk about how like that. It was a direct a copy. It wanted to be Diablo too.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me just ask Harden in the chat. He's saying it sold 30 million across all platforms. Diablo 3. Where did you get those numbers from? Because PC, a lot of people buy digital. They don't even buy physical.
It's hard to track those numbers.
So if that's a legit number, then Diablo 3 is about more than 3 times, maybe 4 times this of what Doom's sales were. So
what I will say about Blizzard games as well, where you say most people buy digital and not physical, I would say it's the reverse with Blizzard games, because Blizzard are one of the very few companies who will give you a
beautiful big
nice
boxes
box
Yeah.
Mhm.
and people want that, and people will want that for World of Warcraft. They want it for StarCraft. They want it for Diablo. They want it for Overwatch, because Blizzard put the effort into.
It's like,
Mhm.
what
into
is
their
in this
products.
box? It's like a console's in here.
It's full of artwork. It's full of artwork. It's
Yeah.
full of all the stuff you
Yeah.
want.
That is true. Yeah.
And if you saw my last video when I was throwing my boxes on the bed, my Diablo 2s and my Diablo 3s, they're all beautiful boxes. So people want physical Blizzard games because they look great. So I would say those numbers, physical side, will
Probably pretty
arguably be
accurate.
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I looked on
It's
VG.
on PS3 and Xbox 360 as well as PS4.
I looked on VG charts just to get an idea. It's about, if you add the PC physical, PS4 and Xbox One, it's about at like about 6-7 million. Actually, no, I'm lying. Probably
Yeah.
more like
The
7,
PC
8.
numbers I think are way off. It was at it showed like 5 million on VG charts, and
Yeah, that's what's that.
I think there's no way it only sold 5 million.
Well, I mean, no, I mean that's the physical anyway. I think that's physical.
Well, according to Wiki, it sold 12 million in the first year on PC. So
yeah, that's probably the 5 million is probably from the physical box that people bought, because there was like this huge collector's edition you could get.
either way, I think it's a big game, but it is definitely an older game. It was out on 360 PS3, so it's not.
Yeah, it's 2012.
I think that would be the biggest
Came out a few months before the Wii U.
not downfall, but the thing that would hurt the most is just all the fans have already played it to death, probably. But a lot of people are fans of something. They will triple dip, like Clock is probably going to do. So
Yep.
but it is. I did like the video presentation, and it felt like it really did feel like this was going to be part of a direct or something. And I really feel that leak kind of forced their hand. Potentially,
Yeah.
it's just because it
That
came
was
out the
very
next
good.
day. I think they put out the video the day after the real, when the leaks started really hitting hard, not just the original. Oh, and there's already Switch gameplay on YouTube.
Yeah, it's off screen.
Cool. So
I didn't know people didn't know that or not, because I saw it earlier and I was like, I didn't hear anyone talk about it. I guess no one knows.
no, I didn't know.
Okay, it's fine.
So what do we think about? I mean, we've talked about this topic before about assholes leaking,
Oh,
generic tubers leaking shit without any worrying about any consequences and ruin it for other people. Like, I don't know if this was Clocked or T that was making the point about opening the Christmas presents the night before.
That was me. Yeah.
Peeking about. I never wanted to go look for I didn't even want to see the shape of the box. Like I just want to wake up Christmas morning and see what presents I had. I never went and looked.
so you were bad. Ironically enough, I did that, and guess what I did that for? Oh, when the Nintendo DS came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
just-
I actually played the DS before I got it for Christmas.
Yeah, you remind me of one of my buddies I grew up with. He played his Genesis about a week before.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Why?
it's just, it ruined, to me, that takes
Because
away
when I
everything
found
love
out,
about
it's
Christmas.
one of those things when you're so excited for something and you find out that you're getting it. I was just fucking on PictoChat. That's what I would do. I wait until like 2:00 in the morning, go downstairs and like carefully unwrap the present, play it
Oh
for
my
like a few
God.
hours.
Yeah, I can't.
I did that for about a week, and then when I got it on Christmas morning, I played it for another like 6 hours. It was fucking insane.
That's just weird. To me, that's the same. I have that. Well, do you like leaks now? I mean, do you like to know stuff in advance? Does that matter to you?
If it's something I don't, it depends on what it is. Most of the time, I don't mind it as much. There's only a few things I can't stand being spoiled on, but everything else is not as big of a deal for me. Like, it doesn't make me as annoyed as it used to when I was younger, which is weird. I went through this weird period where I loved leaks and then I hated them, and now I'm just indifferent. So that's why I'm like the guy who always looked at the rumors and shit, even though it's rumors. So
Well, you're the guy who opened his Christmas present and played it beforehand, so we're definitely two different types of people, I think, on that front. Because
Yeah.
I didn't even want to, like I said, I didn't want to see the shape of the box. I went until Christmas morning, so my mom wouldn't even put the stuff out. I wouldn't look for it or anything. So
Your mom was smart.
I was always just
news. Go ahead.
breaking news.
Yeah.
What was breaking news?
It's just Amazon Prime.
Oh, that I got an
Changes.
email about that, but I forgot this.
And they're terrible. The changes apparently suck.
What was the
For games.
I think it's like the pre-orders and shit.
Mm.
Like that shit. Oh,
I'm done. I'm done with everybody. I'm done.
hey man, this is why they're telling you to go digital, son.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
telling you to go digital.
I ain't going no digital. I'm gonna go home.
I thought you were already home.
Go
What?
play my retro shit. Oh, that's it. Mm.
He's going. You go back and play ET. You go
Yeah,
back and play ET.
Mr. T throwback. He gonna be at home playing his Nintendo tapes, his Tinder tapes.
The day that video games go digital only is the day I'm done buying new games. I'm not playing. Done.
Do you know what I've just read as well?
I ain't no young man anyway, so it's all good.
My friend posted this. This isn't a leak. It looks like it's being confirmed. Grandia 1 and 2 H2 HD.
Nice. Don't we talk about leaks and how they're terrible?
We don't report leaks on this.
Wait. What were you saying about this?
I'm not reporting leaks. This is not leaks.
It sounds like
finish it. I want to.
He starts off by saying, "Here's the leak." Oh, this is not a leak.
No. What's the leak? I'm curious.
No.
let's say it off air in case somebody doesn't want.
Just link it in the chat and I can click it. Click it.
Now,
Look at you,
yeah,
look at you finger slapping his, he's slapping his vein.
Well, look at so far with
It's not cocaine, Christ.
let's just get an update on the poll. 4 people, 100% would be more mad about the Switch port than a new sequel.
Wow, 100%.
Exactly.
So you guys are right. I didn't know if it would be such a landslide
I'm
or
not
not.
surprised.
Really?
I just think it would suck either way.
I'm gonna link that in the chat here, the live chat, so if people want to go vote.
Oh, they're getting a new game, but it looks like the old ones. Oh, yeah, that's how it would be for me.
So now I don't want to buy it. Fuck.
You talk everything about Diablo 3. Think anything about want to cover? Anything?
It's gonna be tits, man.
I mean, I have some cover in my room. I ain't nothing I can cover with it though.
That's a bad joke.
What I was say
was awful.
Hey, I gotta laugh though. I gotta laugh. Not for the right reasons, but I'll fucking take it.
Clocked it.
Yeah. Sorry. What I will say is that I know you mentioned like what you think the future might hold for Blizzard and Nintendo in terms of partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a Blizzard fan since the SNES. You know, with like rock and roll racing and stuff like that. And grew up playing Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, which I got a Sega Saturn and a PC. Played Warcraft 3 and Frozen Thrones, the expansions, and I played all the StarCrafts, the original and Brood War and StarCraft 2 and World of Warcraft. Like I said, it took 6 years of my life. I've been a Blizzard fan all my life.
I was always afraid of that game. I was like, I'm not touching World of Warcraft. It's going to ruin my life.
World of Warcraft.
I wanted to, but I was like, nope.
Yeah. But I mean, Blizzard has changed quite a lot now. So even their offerings from their most well-known series like Diablo, like StarCraft, and even World of Warcraft, they are not as they're still huge. Don't get me wrong; they're still big, but they're not as incredible as when they first came out. They've lost a lot of different staff. Recently, Torchlight, a new Torchlight game was being announced, and which is not coming to the Switch, by the way, which is a massive mistake. But there we go. Now, Torchlight were some of the old Blizzard North team, and the old Blizzard North team, they were the ones who made Diablo 2 and Diablo and stuff. So they left, forged their own studio, Runic Games, and made Torchlight 1 and 2, which I played as well and completed those. So Blizzard has changed quite a lot. So Diablo 3 is indeed excited to have on a Switch, and you're going to play the crap out of it. And it's a great game.
We're all getting it, right? We're all gonna get it.
Yeah, we're getting it. It's no.
I know
Diablo
it's 3
3.
of us. That's what about you guys?
I mean, like I said, depends on if it's the Switch Online is required and how that all works. It might.
Why does it matter? You're gonna have to buy the Switch Online anyway. So
I would say it will be because
if I can wait till December.
They mentioned. Sorry, go on, Juice.
I was just gonna say I'm waiting till December 7th before making that purchase.
We're doing a family plan. It's $5, man.
That's true. If we do that, then yeah. I still from what I saw today, are checking. They keep tweeting their. Go to the website for more details.
It's gonna be trash.
There's nothing there.
There's zero information about being able to message your friends. There's only invites, and that's it. In the lounge, you have to be in the lounge section of the game.
Unacceptable, Nintendo.
I mean, anyway, yeah, I think Overwatch is a no-brainer. It should already be on the Switch. Well, with Paladins being the poor man's version,
they might as well wait till next year.
They, I don't think. I think Overwatch.
What the hell was that?
What the hell?
Somebody in the tub.
The trail butt drops out. He got out the lotion. He's like, I gotta go.
And that was
I dropped out because Google Chrome took a shit.
And Mom came in and started yelling at him.
Well, I forgot how well this mic picks up everything. That was me shaking my water bottle.
Okay.
All right. So now time for we're gonna do a new segment, and it's called. I didn't think of a proper name, but I'm gonna call somebody out for their ridiculously low play times on Switch. Somebody who's very vocal about gaming, Nintendo especially. Super Brothers, gotta do it.
Get him.
I don't know if you
Get him.
podcast, but he sent me a friend request. I thought we were already friends on Switch. I was like, oh, I'll add him. And he's always talking about Smash. He's gonna destroy everybody. Dude's got 1 hour in Xenoblade, 3 hours in Mario Odyssey. And then I don't see any other Nintendo games on there. A bunch of third parties, indies, all with played for a little while or played for 1 hour. His most played game is Mega Man Legacy X Collection. And I'm just like, bro.
1 hour in Xenoblade. That's like the opening cutscene.
1 hour in Xenoblade, 3 hours in Odyssey. Come on, man.
1 hour. You just met Pyro. 1 hour.
Seriously.
He's like, that's Robert numbers, man. It's like, I thought maybe he just got it, but apparently he's had it for a while. So, bro, man, I know you work a lot, but
I think he's had it under a year, but it's close to a year.
The Switch is portable. You can play that anywhere. And Mario Odyssey is like 25 games down. That's the last time he played it. It's like, anyway, I have to, and that's the only thing you can do with your friends on your Switch is see their playtime. So that's what we're gonna use it for.
Let's not talk about you gonna whoop everybody in Smash and smash the controller on your Switch.
Well, I'm busting out a drone. I'm glad the drone crusher love is real here.
Right. So, one other little thing that I thought was kind of, it's a milestone for PlayStation. They hit 500 million consoles sold. I'm guessing the Vitas and the PSPs are part of that.
Well,
they released.
Did they even say anything about the Vita?
They released a special edition PlayStation 4 Pro, 500 million, sold edition. It's $500.
It's like see-through or something.
It's got bluish, like clear plastic, shiny, that fingerprint magnet. It has a 2 terabyte, so I mean they doubled the size of the hard drive. But part of the thing to make you feel like you're getting money, value for your money, they included the newest version of the PlayStation camera, which is also blue. This hideous looking DualShock 4. It's absolutely shiny blue plastic. It's absolutely hideous looking. And the whole console is shiny, clear blue plastic. And the thing's $500. Like, I know the PlayStation is the #1 console. It has a lot more exclusives and stuff. But if you're going to spend $500, I'm sorry. Xbox One X, I think, gives you way more. Other than...
But that's why, though. That's why... 82 million consoles because you get your fan base to buy 3 or 4 consoles.
And it's still the same exact thickness. It's still just as ugly with the 3 layers. It runs hotter. Like Digital Foundry did analysis. It runs like 5 or 6 degrees Celsius hotter. And it's almost the same amount of decibels. It's like 48 decibels instead of 55 decibels. But it's a more pleasant loud sound, apparently.
Like that.
And I guess
when you turn it on, that's the sound it makes.
I guess in the UK, I think it sold out immediately, the pre-orders. and I'm just like, I just
Because
want
it's a collector's item. It's not like, oh, this is my PlayStation I'm going to play. A lot of people are going to put that thing in or leave it in the box and
I
not
guess.
touch it.
That's an
It ain't gonna be
expensive
worth-
ass collector.
It ain't gonna be
happened.
worth shit.
Dude, that happens a lot with the. It used to happen a lot with the Xbox 360s. Xbox original has a really expensive one. I forget. Is it like
The Bill Gates one?
the Bill Gates one? Like,
Yeah.
so they do these things every once in a while. It's not meant to be like, oh, it's gonna sell 20 million copies.
Yeah, because it's a very limited edition.
Yeah, it's a limited edition thing that Sony always does.
It might not even
Microsoft
run
used to
well,
do.
but it's limited edition.
Right. It might be a piece of shit.
It's a
but
more
hey,
pleasant, loud sound, not less annoying.
Oh god.
I just think it's so ugly looking, and
oh, it's hideous, but
it's like,
you don't play that one. You just put that.
why
in,
not make it
on the shelf.
$450 and not have that stupid camera?
Because they can sell it at $5. That's why.
Yeah, no, I was
bro.
like, you kidding me? I can
Does that
make,
add anything?
if I can make the money, don't question me.
But are they
Sony
I
know
mean,
their fan base.
stupid? But anyway, let's get on to the main topic, which is the good and bad of online gaming. I think it's not just online multiplayer like this. Ever since systems connected to the internet, you know, the good and bad from that. And I'm gonna start with a bad example. And one of the reasons I'm never champion online modes in games like Metroid or Super Mario 3D World. It's the main reason you'll never hear me calling for that kind of stuff, and that's because the other people you play with, and most of the time, I don't want to say most of the time, it's good, because it's like, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like there's just a bunch of idiots always ruining the game for you. The other times I go long stretches where it's fine. But one of the worst things about PC gaming, especially for Rocket League, is having that damn keyboard there and being able to type. Yeah, there's games with voice chat and you got to deal with annoying people. But when there's that keyboard there and people can quickly type messages, I've seen just complete toxic behavior, teammates turning on each other. So it happened on my team once, and then yesterday it happened on the opposite team. And it started with, I forget, guy on my team was really good, and he scored like 2 quick goals in about a minute. And then I see this guy, his name was N-O, no, that's all it said. One of these guys usually they have ridiculously long names. And he's like calling out the dude for not making the save. He wasn't even, it was a good shot. It would have had to have been like a pro to save this game. Like, it wasn't even a bad attempt. He starts calling his teammate out, and I wish I would have hit record and recorded all this. And I tell you, they spent the whole match calling each other out. The no guy was typing instead of going for the kickoff, led to a third goal because he's typing a message. He doesn't go for the kickoff. The guy on my team just goes, hits it upper right corner. They miss the save, and it sent it into just complete toxicity. Like, it was, I actually started typing and like trying to defend the teammates. Like, it made me sick to my stomach the way this guy was acting. Like, he was so much better, and he ended up with 150 points, no shots, no goals, and the other guys, the guys he was calling out, had
way better.
Had like 500 points, whatever it was, and this guy spent more time typing than playing. And I'm like, that is the absolute worst example of what online brings to gaming. And it's like, it happened to me. And when a guy's calling you out, then you start missing shots you normally wouldn't, and it gets in your head, and it completely ruins the fun of it. And
it's your teammate.
Like, and people make videos about it. I've seen Rocket League videos talking about, hey, just don't reply to these people. It only makes it worse. But it just gets so ugly so fast, and it just shows the just bad side of human beings. And it made me sick. And I just know, it just reminded me, like, this is why I don't put so much stock in online modes and stuff, even though that's basically the only thing to do in Rocket League that I think the offline stuff's not even worth doing. But so that was a bad example, and that got me thinking about everything that's bad with online gaming. So I didn't give you guys a whole lot of time to think about it, but does anybody have a story or a thing about online that would be considered a bad?
I got one.
Go ahead, T.
Mine is pretty. I don't even know if I want to say it because it's so sad. I was on. Remember this little app called PlayStation Home?
Oh God!
Oh.
I already know this is going. I already know
We
this
can
is going.
do Miiverse and make it better.
Hey, man, I don't want to do this, man. Don't do this to you. I'm serious.
I shouldn't do it, but
Oh God!
it's nothing really. It's just crazy to me because, like I wasn't like the most popular dude in high school. Like I played ball, so that made me a little bit more popular. But I was never a football player. You know what I'm saying? I played, but I wasn't like one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? So I was always pretty different. So I just remember going on PlayStation Home and just kind of checking it out. Like, what's this weird app? And we were some area. Maybe it was like a park or something. And if you don't know what PlayStation Home is, it's like a hub basically where, PlayStation players can all gather and kind of chat and kind of hang out. And you have your little avatar, whatever, you walk around and just, it's like basically like,
it's second life on your PlayStation.
It's basically like Second Life, right.
Yeah.
And I remember going on there and just trying to talk to people, and it was so goddamn clicky, and they were being such assholes. Like I'm just
if they didn't know you, then
like, yeah, it's just like we don't know you. Well, this is how this works: is that you meet people and talk to people that you don't know. It's like, are you guys all in the same house? On PlayStation Home, you all actually know each other, and you're all like, it was just so. It felt like the worst parts of terrible high school movies. Like the worst parts of it,
which is my high school life.
Yeah, it was just memories. Like it took me back. I felt like I was 15 again, and this is probably, I don't know, probably 2012 or something, maybe 2013.
Yeah, people don't realize online gaming was a lot worse back then than it was now. Just on community sense. I mean, I remember the most popular videos on YouTube back in 2005, 2006 were fucking with people on Xbox Live because they were all assholes. you either called a racial slur.
I didn't get into that, but
people use the voice modifiers and troll people.
Yeah, little 13-year-olds calling you N-words. That's fun.
Ridiculous. You don't even know what that word means, do you?
Right. You don't even know what it means.
It's
you don't even know.
Candy. It's a type of candy.
Yeah. So goodbye to randoms after that shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shadow Fox, you have one?
I got plenty. I think that probably the funniest of all was I was wrecking shop of in Dead or Alive 4. This was a launch game for the Xbox 360, but I played it pretty much the entire 7th generation. And so I'm playing online with this guy, and then he's just talking so much smack. And then the last couple of matches, I started playing with a different character. He's like, "Oh, you don't even know how to play with her." Blah 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 blah. This entire time, he hasn't won a single match against me, but he's talking all this trash. And then the last couple of matches, he got so mad, he started calling names and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I just want you to know, those last 4 games you played, you just got wrecked by my wife. She doesn't even play video games. The only game she plays is this game with this character, and she just beat you.
I
was just laughing the whole time in the background. It was just hilarious. He was just. That was a time I wish I could record. I could have recorded that so I could upload that to YouTube. That would have been hilarious. Because that was just a moment for time.
And if somebody doesn't have like a specific story like that, just maybe a feature or negative thing that comes along with online gaming too. So
the last day of Miiverse.
Miiverse was just
that was a cesspool.
Funny though.
Christ.
Terrell, you got anything pops in your brain?
Not really, because I never owned a 360 and I didn't buy a PS3.
Any features, anything that associated with online and game consoles that
patches. Worst thing. Absolutely worst thing. You wanna know why?
Thank you, original Xbox.
You wanna know why it was bad? Not necessarily because patches hurt games, but it allowed developers to be so fucking lazy.
Exactly.
With their goddamn releases that it essentially boiled down to, oh yeah, I can put out a half-ass game and then patch it later. It'd be perfectly fine. The problem was that either A, people wouldn't test these patches and we'd get other shit broken in the same game, or They just would never put the patch out. Some people just say, "Fuck it." Oh, we already got your money. We don't need to put the patch out.
That's the old once you cross the line, it's easier. It gets easier and easier every time. So the first game that was like, oh, we can make our release date. We'll just put the rest of the game or fix the game.
Well, and that's the problem. So now the developers aren't the only people that know about it. Now the publishers know about it. So now their scoping documents for their project is like, well, if anything happens, we can just push it post-release. Like,
I can tell you, I think the most offensive example for me, it's not even that old of an example, is when Marvel's Capcom 3 came out on the PS3 and 360. And then 6 months later, Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3 came out. And for those who bought that game originally, there were 2 DLC characters. It was like Jill Valentine and then Gamora, the green one-eyed monster dude from Marvel's Capcom 2. Those were DLC characters you got if you bought the original game. If you went and got Ultimate, guess what? You couldn't get those characters. Those characters were only on the original game. So literally, even now, those characters are lost.
The same thing happened with Street Fighter 4. It was like eight months after Street Fighter 4 came out. I bought that $60 launch. Ultra Street Fighter 4 comes out. I'm like, what the and then they want to charge me to upgrade for that. I'm like, so you want another $40?
Capcom was absolute garbage during the 360 PS3 generation.
Oh my god, they were terrible.
It was people act like, oh, they were bad now. No. Yeah. You don't know.
What was that? What was that game? I feel like it was a sports game.
Which one?
Lost Planet, though, man. Lost Planet.
Man, fuck Lost Planet.
Lost Planet.
Wasn't there though earlier this year a game came out absolute trash, and they
WWE?
No, the developer or publisher actually said that it's better for them to release the game during the holiday season broken than to delay the game into the and miss the holiday season.
I remember that quote, but I don't remember the game.
There was I swear it was like
what in
dude. What the fuck?
Hey man, that shit's peaceful as fuck. Leave him alone.
Why you getting upset about
that? That was a pleasant noise, but just anyway.
Don't get upset about wind chimes.
Somebody, I swear it was like a Pro Evolution Soccer. I don't think it was that, but it was.
It is a sports game. I know what you're talking about.
It was a sports game, and they knew it didn't work right.
Oh, it's Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Wow, you fucking garbage.
Exposed.
You know that shit got delayed again?
Of course it got delayed. They were trying to push it out in time for the anniversary.
Well, the problem is they put it out in the original date was September, which is like
original.
What do you guys
go ahead?
Think any chance the delay was from the backlash of them trying to just put one game on the disc?
Yeah, it was the backlash.
Well, that wasn't even my concern. My concern was that you put it out in the same week as like 4 other high-profile games.
Well, I'm telling you, the reason they wanted to do it is because Spyro launched September '98.
Oh no, I understand why. I just don't think it was. I
think they wised up to.
I don't think it was a smart idea.
So
yeah.
All right, Clock has been pretty quiet on this topic. I definitely know you're an old school guy. That there's got to be something about this online, phase where we've been in for a while. That some bad that you can think of.
Yeah, I mean, I could drag up loads of individual stories, of course, but I feel like we had a very, very short window of great online when we really started playing online, and that was probably between 1999 and 2005, and then after that, it just started going tits up, and it just started going bad, and just online gaming. I started hating pretty much everything about it, apart from like the DS and the Wii U and stuff, which managed to save some online for me with Miiverse and stuff, because Miiverse, people laughed at that shit, man. And can you imagine having Miiverse? If Nintendo said, no, listen, we're going to charge you to bring back Miiverse, I'd be like, fine, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Miiverse was part of Nintendo Switch Online, I'd pay day one.
I'd pay for that shit. But yeah, I mean, going way back to like when you were first jumping online with like the original StarCraft, Diablo 2, Phantasy Star Online, and World of Warcraft, and Quake 3, and Unreal Tournament, and all these games that are online back then. you couldn't be an asshole because you had to build relationships in order to play with people. There wasn't too much voice chat. Yeah, you could only just generally type and stuff. If you were an asshole, you get kicked out and you wouldn't have any friends. So you had to build relationships, and that was so important back then in those games, especially in like Diablo and stuff, and especially World of Warcraft. That's why guilds were so important in World of Warcraft, because what you didn't want to do is you didn't want to play with randos. Randos have been the bane of online gaming since the fuckers could be invited to stuff. I hate random people because random people.
I'll help you. Now it's P2P. Let's go.
Yeah, it's they're hard fucking work, and we experience it all the time. No matter what
the story I see
with Rocket League, when you want to play a game of Rocket League, and some random drops in, you're like, for fuck's sake, can you just kick the goddamn ball? and they won't do it. So then you're having to type. And they don't reply to you, or they'll just spam some of the already pre-described.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll defend. And then you see.
Do you know the way?
I love the people that use the congratulatory, or it used to be congratulatory phrases, and turn them around to be dicks. Like, oh, what a save! Like instead of like you actually making a save and people congratulating you.
The problem is that
people use it to be like make fun of you for missing a.
That's such an effective tactic, though, to get in your opponent's head. Like, it works so well.
Yeah, it pisses people off. Oh, what a save!
GG's, guy.
Good game.
Well, GG's bad now, but I blame Juice for that one completely.
Well, I'm saying
actually, Robert, first one I heard say.
Well, no, but see, Robert doesn't play games as much, so it doesn't bother me anymore.
That sucks that people flip the phrases that were supposed to be congratulatory and make them kind of dickish. It's like works. Being sarcastic about.
You know why? Because people are assholes.
Yeah, people are assholes.
Because we gotta. I want to get to the good too, but I will say one of the big negatives that comes with online gaming, and that's lag, which thanks to Nintendo not putting a fucking Ethernet port, I feel Smash Ultimate, if you're not playing with somebody is plugged in, that's where you're gonna run into some issues.
Can I stop that real quick? It's not the Ethernet. It's the fact that they only accept 50 megabytes total one way, going up or down.
Yeah,
like, there's nothing you could do. I've tried everything.
Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you can't even ping them at more. You can't even ping them at more than 50 Wi-Fi or LAN going directly to any of their servers. So they're bottlenecked. They're bottlenecked both ways. There's absolutely nothing you can do, whether you're downloading or playing online.
You think that might increase?
Nintendo. And the Wii U wasn't like that. It's only on the Switch.
You think it might change when the online kicks off?
I hope so, because that's ridiculous.
So the Switch
to me, that would be a fair. To me, that's kind of what I prefer with what PlayStation did, where if you bought Plus, you had more access to shit, but you still could play free.
So that's that 3DS ping.
Hey, chill out, bro.
Well, the problem is because it's an extra cost that people don't want to play, so they're just going to settle for their Wi-Fi connection and have their router be on the other side of the house. And that's what happened with the Wii U. And it wasn't until we talked Robert into buying a damn Ethernet adapter that he had, because he has great internet, where all of a sudden it wasn't lagging anymore. Like, dude, why didn't you? He didn't even tell us he was running Wi-Fi for months, and we're sitting there struggling with lag.
With that shit
but anyway, lag is it can ruin any game, every game. Like I think it's worse than toxic teammates. When lag hits, it's absolutely makes the game unplayable.
And that's why no one played Brawl online. That was a terrible fucking experience.
Oh, Brawl.
Brawl was the worst fucking online experience I ever had, lag related.
Got a console with 8 megabytes of RAM.
I literally played Neighbors in the same area, and I'm like,
and you would still be lagging.
I'm like, why
did they even try to have online in that damn game?
I mean, you can do it
because they had to.
Did anybody have the Ethernet adapter on the Wii and try to see if that made it better?
Yeah, it didn't make it.
It didn't really do much.
You know why? Juice is because the same reason for the Wii U and Switch. Not everybody thought to have it. Most people still playing off of the Wi-Fi.
So it's always going to be the other person,
which should be good enough, but infrastructure in this fucking country is a joke.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is.
And most people's
we're fucking
router
garbage.
doesn't cover their whole house either, like effectively. So, all right, there's definitely tons of bad, and anyone watching this on YouTube, feel free to share some stories in the comment section once this is uploaded on YouTube.
As
But
opposed to watching it somewhere else.
let's talk about some
Yes.
good. Some good that can come from that has arrived with online play. You know, we mentioned
I don't have any.
the necessity for patching. It became a bad habit, but if a bug happened to slip through, Nintendo's, every once in a while, because even Skyward Sword had a weird glitch that if you weren't careful, you could fuck up your whole progress.
Nintendo had to put a patch out on a Wii.
So
for that,
and you had to send your SD card in, is what I remember to actually because if you're safe, if you got screwed, you had to send your safe.
After you got screwed. Yeah.
So
I thought all it was that they just had the more updated version of the game, like in later copies of the.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
They did it in later copies.
Patched it. I just know that.
Yeah, they patched it and they fixed it in the actual.
If something like that does slip through, then being able to update, is a positive, but it gets abused so much. But I'd say the biggest positive is just, in the early days was meeting cool dudes, like playing Project Gotham Racing 2 and chatting with these guys from Scotland as we're racing in Scotland. And he's like, oh yeah, I drive by that castle every morning on my way to work. That was cool. That was like a cool moment that really stood out in the beginning. And then, just playing with friends, like when we play Smash, when we're playing Smash 4 and having that couch co-op like experience, because thanks to Google Hangouts, we're doing free voice chat and playing at the same time. And to me, that was almost dead, other than a few, I had a few game nights throughout the year, had 6 to 8 people over and we'd play and have fun. But playing with you guys, and laughing and just the shit talking and, sometimes tempers a little bit flared, but nothing serious. Those are some of my fondest memories of the Wii U, was when we were playing Smash Brothers and Splatoon and just laughing our asses off. So that's definitely a good thing with online gaming. So I think overall those moments definitely outweigh the bad. But I don't know. Anybody got any good they can think of that besides just playing with your pals?
No.
I've got some feel good random stories. I know typically it all goes bad, but unfortunately it happened a long time ago. But for some reason, Halo 2 and Halo 3, individual people I met playing online in those games were obviously all like just out of college, or they're people in college or high school or whatever. And I met online with these people every day. So it was like I knew them. I didn't know anything else about them other than their handle, but I met them every day online. We played certain modes and we'd always end up seeing each other, and we talk and chat outside of it or whatever. And we have like real life conversations. And that hasn't happened since that generation, going from the 6th generation to the beginning of the 7th generation, when it all went to shit. But during that time frame, like the tail end of the 6th generation, is when I was really able to talk to randoms and actually have a good experience. I don't know if anybody remembers fucking super bouncing in Halo 2, just messing around in the game, just jumping out the map and stuff and acting a fool or whatever. That kind of stuff. And we sit there, we will jump out the map and the other team is still looking for us, and we're just having a full blown conversation. Wait, just stuff like that. And we would just do different things like that. And when other games started coming out, like Left 4 Dead, stuff like that, where they force you to work together, Jesus Christ, I've killed this thing like 9 times. I don't know why it keeps going off. But when you play in other games that force you to cooperate like that, it still doesn't seem to be the same anymore. Like, I'll cooperate with somebody and they'll still like talk cold hard shit. Like, I'm like, I just helped you and you still just said I suck ass. Like, what is going on here? So it just seems like it just seems like earlier when online was like reaching its height, that's when people were a little bit more friendly. Obviously, there was a little shit talking at first, and then you got to know each other. But now it's like that's just that's everybody today. Everybody's sarcastic. So I would say 2005 to 2007 was probably the good part of talking to randoms. I don't think it's really possible.
What are you talking about? 2015, everybody was mad that they couldn't talk to randoms in Splatoon and boycott.
Oh, of course.
Boycott Nintendo and Splatoon and not being able to talk to randoms. So I mean, obviously people love talking.
I'm like, how did that work in Mario Kart in the lobby?
I pretty much never want to talk to randoms and shooters.
I never want to hear their voice.
You go back to the lobby in Mario Kart, you're like, oh shit, mute.
As soon as I hear something, breathe in somebody talking on Fortnite before I realized I didn't realize you had to mute if you did a party, just if you did squads, but you weren't partied up. I'm like, damn it, I'm hearing this kid just yelling like mute all. That was the best thing that happened to Call of Duty was the mute all option.
The Call of Duty, the worst thing was people deciding to play radios in the background and create their own soundtracks, and I'm like, Jesus, what are you doing?
But we're forgetting one of the biggest like benefits and good that comes from online gaming is when a game don't fit on a disc or cartridge, you just download the rest of it. So boom, problem solved. Gears of War 4 is 100 gigs. Blu-ray's only 50. Shit, got the
Advantage.
Nope.
Advantage.
50.
Wii U.
Just download that 50 gigs. I mean, come on.
100 goddamn.
I think it's bigger now. 4K patch and shit.
Insane.
I think it's like 110.
What was it? NBA 2K14, I think it was. It was 90
2K14
gigs after all the patch.
Yeah.
Jesus. I was like, did you put the entire world on there? Did you put everybody's stadium? Like, could you?
It's ridiculous.
So, Clactic, can you think of something good, a good story, something to keep the good going, the good discussion?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could laugh off quite a lot of stuff. I mean, one of the biggest benefits is obviously being able to play with a large group of people far easier than you could before, right? So if you go back in the day when we were playing Quake 3 and even Halo 1, you had your LAN parties, you'd be dragging your 32-inch CRT TV in the back of your car around to your friend's house and you'd all be hooking up. You know, you just can't do that anymore. So, so to be able to play with 16 players, on your own screen, not having, not requiring, multiple split screens and stuff like that, those are benefits. Being able to play games like Phantasy Star Online, like World of Warcraft, these large multiplayer games, where you can have a large amount of people in big communities. These type of games can't exist without the internet. So those type of multiplayer experiences are great. But I mean, other stuff. Like I said, could you imagine there was a voice chat on Mario Kart when you were playing? Oh my god!
Man.
Oh my god! I'd never play it. I would never play Mario Kart online.
It would be everybody raging because I raged.
Every red shell.
Oh
every
my
blue
god!
shell.
Fuck
This game is even.
cheating ass bullshit. Oh
I mean,
my god!
it's all cool. It's all cool with friends, but like I said, you're going back to randos again, and randos.
Yeah, randos.
When they got the power. When they got the power, oh my god, their mouths don't stop.
Breaking news! My Wii U is yellow. The light is yellow right now.
Oh shit, son!
That's what mine was. That's why I turned it on.
Yeah,
I was like, "Why is it?"
I don't like you giving my hopes up like this, T. I'm tired of your bullshit.
That was Shantae.
Shantae.
Oh, but I must say,
Shantae and them pajama jams.
one of the reasons I loved Heroes of Ruin for 3DS was because of random, not random, battling with randoms. And there was this one particular random. He seemed like he was on every time I got on. What was his name? Like Reek something 88 or something. Every time I got on this game, and this is a game that you end up being very trollish because you have people that just go and take all the items, and like when you're, I don't know if you ever played this type of game, but when you have 4 people playing and everybody's trying to get all the level ups and all the items and stuff, you can get pretty pissed at them. The people in this game, I don't know what it is, but Heroes of the Room was one of the reasons I loved this game on 3DS, was that people were always super nice. And, oh, by the way, the 3DS game with voice chat, by the way, and people were, I remember when I first got in, dude was helping me out step by step. Oh, you need to be able to do this, you need to do this. Very nice. My whole experience on this game was one of the reasons I loved it a lot. With the randoms were very nice. I don't know why. It was like a community. It was cool. And whenever we went out and did like battles and stuff and co-op whatnot, it was always fun. And the dude, I remember the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't gotten a Wii U, but he was gonna get one," and I was gonna friend him on that, but it never happened.
That's kind of rare, but I had the same experience on Miiverse as well, where I mean, I could literally just say, "Hey, what the fuck do I do right here?" And I post a screenshot, and they're like, "Oh man, you're right there, that part. Yeah, I got stuck there too." You can just kind of, I'm gonna miss that, man. And yeah, I can screenshot stuff and post it on Twitter. Like, what? That doesn't help me because not everybody on Twitter owns a Switch, so I can't. It's not the same.
That's why Miiverse.
How cool was it to be able to go from being in the middle of a game, like, oh man, I need some help with this, and just hitting like YouTube and like, oh yeah, you just going to YouTube and getting you're stuck somewhere, and just go to YouTube real quick, and then come back to your game right away and go back into it.
Yeah, it's
that was so cool.
Once if Nintendo ever puts out a Nintendo Switch Online video, we're gonna have a field day. I have a feeling
it's gonna be like we're in the Middle Ages again and shit.
It's Nintendo Defense Force. I'm gonna put my shirt on. Nintendo Defense Force. I'm gonna defend
a year and a half in.
Everything about it.
We still don't have just the most. And like I said, I don't care too much about talking to randoms, this and that. But just the fact that year and a half in, we can't even just send a little message, even like 100-character limit message to somebody, and it doesn't even.
You can do that on Xbox and PS4. And you don't even have to pay for the online.
I don't have to pay for that. I send messages, sharing screenshots with Terrell when I first got it.
Right. That's a free
I remember tweeting them. Telling them to update the amount of characters you can put into a Twitter post, because even it's still restricted to.
Yeah, Switch is still at 100.
The old remote, yeah.
Or 80, whatever. And if you tag somebody, that takes up characters where
the majority of it
on your phone it doesn't anymore. So, but like I said, the good being able to play with Clocked It, like over in Wales. Here I'm in Michigan in the U.S. and we're playing Rocket League together. We're playing ARMS, and sometimes there's a little bit of lag and stuff, but just the fact that that's possible and it works as well as it does. Still, I mean, that's an achievement. Like that's I think is really cool. And the Miiverse was a really cool thing. Meant some people, the cool drawings people could share. Like the fact that they're not even considering bringing that back. Like
I think it's odd because they literally embedded it into Splatoon 2, and I'm like, oh, so you fucking with people?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how people are somehow they're getting an image. Like someone showed the long way to do it, and that is they take a image and then they put it in the resolution, which is super low of the post on Splatoon. So it basically becomes like pixel art.
Yeah, like you just put a dot here, a dot there.
Then, they just use the D-pad and place the dots, like a zoomed in. They get a really zoomed in thing print out on their screen, and then they put a dot wherever it shows, and then by the time it's done, it looks like a photograph, basically. But that takes a lot of time. I'm sure there's a quick cheating way to do that, but there are some really good stuff like playing NBA 2K1 for the first time online, knowing I'm playing against another human being instead of this terrible AI. And I'm like, oh, it was so cool. And like racing against people and like the early days.
What is that football play where it's like a direct snap to the...
Oh, you're talking about the Wildcat.
Right.
Wildcat.
I don't think they even called it that back then. Back then, 2K1, I was playing 2K1. I remember of getting on there playing online, and some dude would direct snap to like Allen Rawson, which is like the punt returner.
Oh my god, he's
returner.
super fast.
And he's so fast. Was he a Falcons?
Yeah, he played for the Falcons for a while.
Okay, that's why I remember him playing for the Falcons. And a direct snap, I could not stop that to save my life. Every time the dude direct snap, he touchdown. I just said, fuck this.
Dude, that's so funny.
I quit.
The reason I stopped playing Madden online and Nit never bought another one was Madden 10. And he was the Cowboys. Direct Wildcat to Murray. And he didn't get a touchdown every time, but he got at least 6 to 7 yards every time. And he'd go for every fourth down and get it because he was guaranteed at least four yards, you know. And I'm like, just like with Mario Tennis, again, I know I get Red Knight was trying to he's kind of defending, you know, his stance and kind of saying that it was the lack of modes. It was, other than Rocket League, it was because people will take these exploits.
Right.
Yep.
They have the game not fun. No fucking shame in just using them over and over and over to win. And it's like, instead of having these awesome volleys and stuff like you could have, you got these guys figuring out that Bowser Jr., you can just go to the net and nothing can get over him.
Yeah, just play the game.
Patched it, but
like, I used to do that to my friends, so I know how frustrating it is because we used to play like Kobe Bryant courtside, and every time he would go to inbound, I would stand behind the guy he was inbounding it to, and I would steal it every time. It was just it's a terrible glitch in the game to where you couldn't even inbound that shit because I would just.
But you wouldn't do it every time you played.
I did it every time. I'm not even gonna lie, and he would get so pissed, and I was like, I understand that. I understand how pissed off people get when you don't play the game the way it's intended to be played, instead of exploiting glitches and all kinds of. I hate that too. So,
and it's just like
just takes away from the fun of the game.
Mario Kart DS snaking,
right?
Snaking, exactly. Jesus,
exactly.
The bikes and Mario Kart Wii that just had such an advantage on with then fire hopping in Mario Kart 8, but you know,
well, it's in the game. I'm not cheating.
Yeah, Nintendo decided not to patch it. They said it was a skill. So anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. I wish I would have brought it up earlier. According to Ruby, she's probably the biggest Pokemon fan in the live chat, probably equal to Terrell.
What?
She's saying that a lot of the hardcore Pokemon fans are not going to support Let's Go Pikachu based on what you get and how simplified it is. Now,
it's
man, whatever. Just
from my comments, all the
backlash.
The backlash I got from my few comments when that first showed that game told me the opposite. Said people were defending the hell out of it. So, Terrell, you got any thought on it?
It would not surprise me if that was the case because the game isn't really for the mainstream. It isn't for the hardcore Pokemon fan. It's for the casual. That's the way I always looked at Let's Go. Let's Go has some cool shit in it. I'm not gonna lie and say part of me was a little happy when I started seeing clips of what it looks like when a Voltorb and a Venusaur is following you, and it's like, oh shit, look at the animations because I've been into the series since the fucking 90s. This is like one of my first game franchises. Part of it has some cool throwbacks, but at the end of the day, it's Gen 1. It's Generation 1 done over again.
Yep.
With even more making it casual as fuck. And Gen 1 was arguably one of the hardest generations, not necessarily for the right reasons, but still. And you've now turned it into this casual mesh. You've made your rival friendly. That's what we don't want. I want a dickhead rival so I feel happy when I beat him. I also want to be fucking challenging. So if I hear the hardcore Pokemon community isn't supporting this, I'm not fucking surprised. Also, because it doesn't do anything for the metagame. It's only Gen 1 Pokemon. It's so geared towards a specific fucking audience that if people said, fuck this game.
It's a nostalgia play. That's what the original one was.
I'll believe it when I see it doesn't hit 10 million.
No, listen. There are way more casual fans than hardcore fans. I'm not saying it's not going to sell. I'm not going to say it's not going to sell. I'm just saying the hardcore fan base.
It's a vocal minority.
Yeah. That's the reason I'm saying it is going to sell, is because it's a nostalgia play, and a lot of people remember Gen 1 Pokemon. They're like, ooh, I could fuck with this because Gen 1 Pokemon, I remember them.
Realistically, you can look at Pokemon Go and get the same realization. It's
exactly.
Like, it's not for the hardcore.
That's a free download, even though it did, people did spend money on it. I mean, you can't really,
it still makes money.
People act like it's over.
You can't use the amount of downloads as like, oh, look at all there's this many.
No, I'm using the amount of money that it still consistently makes. It's still like one of the top grossing apps.
People think it's over.
It's not. It never really stops.
The coverage of it is over, but
how many?
It's still super popular.
How many downloads was it? Like 80 million or something?
But you said we weren't doing the download conversation.
Most of that money is coming from probably less than 10 million of that. Core.
Yeah. Oh no, that's true.
It's always whale fishing at that point.
Oh but that's literally what it is. You got like a small group of people spending an ass amount of money.
Yep.
People are following this game to the T. I mean, granted, I'll be like that tonight when the Fire Emblem Heroes little mini direct happens, and I'll be sitting there looking to see what new heroes they're adding. I'm not gonna spend a fuck ton of money like I was beforehand, but still, they don't give a damn where the money's coming from. They just want the money to keep coming. Yep. And as far as Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is concerned, it's appealing to the casuals. And like we always say, there are way more casuals than hardcore.
You might say it beat Fortnite revenue.
Good.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
in the year or
Well, I mean, Fortnite just recently got released on Android,
But Pokemon Go was a bigger phenomenon, I think, than even Fortnite, to be honest.
Yeah, because Fortnite didn't have any history behind it.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
No, I'm just saying it because it did make a lot of money. I think they're just showing the comparison.
Oh, yeah.
It's just funny when I was accusing the Pokemon company of milking their fan base with this being their first Switch game, doing the 2-game things again, and $60, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's a bridge game." I got so much backlash from that, and I'm like,
"Oh, that it was milking."
Most of the Pokemon fans are going to buy the game, so it's not a bridge game. It's Nintendo and Pokemon Company needed a game out this year.
Oh no, I would still argue it's a bridge game.
I still think it's a bridge. I think
I would still argue it's a bridge game. I just don't.
My point is, it still was it necessary, and is it okay
that word again? Necessary.
Is it okay that this is the first
Pokemon
Pokemon game in HD, first Pokemon game on the Switch? Like, to me, it just isn't.
Well, I mean, this is it's hard because when you say if it's necessary or not, that's
because everyone's like, "Oh, we need to get those. They need to get those Pokemon Go fans to buy."
I would say, well,
it is still a play for them.
You're telling me they wouldn't buy? They're not going to buy the mainline one?
That's a part of the problem. The problem is that Pokemon needs to change as an IP anyway. And
there's a lot of people sitting on the fence, because getting into Pokemon right now is very intimidating.
Which is surprising as hell in retrospect.
What about 1-7? Like, a lot of people are intimidated to jump into Pokemon right now, and that's why a game like this could serve them and be like, all right, it's not that bad. You can
it serves a purpose. I just don't want them to only cater to that fan base. That's not
going to happen.
Well, he did say that's
not going to happen.
Well, I know it's not going to happen because we already know it's been confirmed that it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that's part of the reason why people aren't excited about this game, because they know the game they really want to play comes out next year.
Even though they did quote,
that's fine. You don't have to be excited about it. But
the guy did say, the head guy, that even with the next one, even with that, the mainline one, they have no desire, or however he phrased it, to make these any more, or they want to keep them as accessible as they've always been. So they're not looking to take it to the next level.
But they're gonna make regular games, though, because otherwise Nintendo would just drop Game Freak and Pokemon Company altogether and just buy Niantic and keep it moving. Like, they own apparently the franchise, so they can use the Pokemon name and Niantic to make whatever Pokemon game they want. They just want a mainstream, this is half a phone game thrown on the Switch type scenario, if that's what they want to do.
And they're not going to take Pokemon out of that. I understand what he means when he says that. He has no intention of turn Pokemon into like a hardcore IP only. He wants it to still maintain its marketability
It's never been a hardcore IP only. They've always made other games to try to.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, so it's not, and for hardcore Pokemon fans who are like, "Oh my god, this is going to be the new direction Pokemon. This trash."
If it says 20 million,
how well did Pokemon X sell?
Pokemon X
and
sold
Y sell?
Like around 13 million in total.
How well did
both of them?
Pokemon Sun and Moon sell?
Like 20.
Like if they were selling, if the sales were going down, then you could be worried. But I
think people are worried because of what we've been dealing with beforehand. A lot of people don't. They look at the sales. They don't look at the actual popular opinion. When you look at like the last 3DS games we got, which were Sun and Moon, and then X and Y as far as the main generation games, people on a hardcore level were not happy with those games. Those were main generation games. And people were like, "Yeah, Gen 6 is kind of a piece of shit. I don't really care about."
Well, what was the reason? Was it
because it felt lackluster as fuck. Like compared to the last DS game, which was black and white, that came out in like 2007 or no, it came out in like 2010 or 11.
And Call of Duty fans complain about Call of Duty every year, and they go and buy this shit every year.
I mean
that doesn't matter to me at all. That kind of complaining doesn't matter at all. Like,
and to be fair, people would say with Gen 7 it was an uptick. You kind of getting your shit together. People are paranoid. People are like, I don't want them to fall down to the same traps that they did before. And Let's Go almost screams everything that people don't want from like a mainline Pokemon game. But the fact that they recognize that, this isn't the mainline one, is better in the grand scheme of things. So I'm like, okay, at least you understand we don't want this shit. So don't make this a part of the main series.
But then people get mad at you for saying that. It's like, it is a mainline game.
Well,
would you be?
It's the same argument if you count every remake as a part of the main series.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the last
what were you saying, Just?
We're gonna move on, or we're gonna end this. But with your stance on Let's Go, Eevee and Pikachu, would you be? I don't know if I want to use the word happy, but based on what it is and the message it could potentially send, if it either sells really well or doesn't sell well, would you rather have it be kind of a failure, like for a Pokemon game, let's say under 5 mil, or would you rather have it be like a huge success, like 10, 15 mil?
So pretty much we're going from the two extremes, either bad for a Pokemon game or really good for a Pokemon game. Fuck. Because there are things in Let's Go I like the idea of not having random battles is controversial, but I think it might do the games good, because I think the biggest issue is that Pokemon, a lot of people just don't like the tedium in Pokemon games.
Well, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna look at this one little detail. Say, this is why it sold 15.
Well, no, I know that's the problem. That's the core of the problem. Because if it sells bad, I probably would say I would prefer it to sell bad than good. Actually,
all right.
Only because I think it's selling good could lead them into a false sense of confidence, which is what Game Freak does not need right now. I need them to recognize the problems in their series and not to go down the same route. Whereas if the game did bad, they're forced to look at their mistakes. Even if not everything is bad, they're still forced to look at their mistakes and reevaluate. There's still potential they can go in the wrong direction, but considering Let's Go isn't really the game for me anyway, because it's a remake of a game they've already remade. This is their their second time remaking this fucking generation. So
I will like trade in or delete my copy of Rocket League if you don't buy that game. That's how confident I am that you will end up buying it.
So that I'll end up buying. Okay.
I would bet.
Would you? Are you willing to make that like a legit bet?
Well, obviously, if there's a bet that you could win, you're gonna make sure.
You're gonna see me on. You're gonna see me with gameplay, and you're like, oh.
I'm gonna have T upload a couple different gameplays.
Well,
Juice, you gotta throw your Xbox in the trash. We gotta record it, and we gotta watch it go to the dumpster.
Yeah, what the fuck is an Xbox?
My OG original Xbox.
What the fuck is an Xbox? The hell are you talking about?
I forgot what podcast I'm on. I'm sorry.
It's a console.
Xbox don't mean shit to us.
Xbox is a console that sold more than GameCube.
Hey,
it was like 1 million. It was like 1 million more.
It wasn't
And
much
if Microsoft didn't put the 360 out 4 years later, it probably would have done a couple more million. But
yeah, hey.
But anyway, We're not gonna do final thoughts because we're going long. I know
Long.
Clock got to, it's late. He probably wants to get to sleep. So
we don't get to sleep.
So just
It is 3 hours.
good
in.
podcast. Thanks everybody in the chat. Very funny stuff. Some good stuff and some good discussions and a good turnout. Live viewers. Appreciate that, everybody. This is probably, I'd be shocked if this wasn't the longest running consistent podcast, video game, Nintendo podcast out there. Because, I don't think we've missed maybe 1 week in the last year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So, but appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Talk more Nintendo video game stuff. So until then, have a good one.